Welcome back to Racing Dudes Live. Magic here with Mike Somich, Jared Welch, Aaron Halterman. Guys, good to see you. And we got a few races left in the day at Pimlico on Preakness Day. We'll be covering everything, races 10, 11, 12, and 13 through the Preakness Stakes. Very happy to see you guys. I have no idea what the hell you're doing in those pictures there. Aaron, I'll throw it to you. You're having a great time, it looks like.
Yeah, we're having fun. It's a good day today. Mr. Welch hit a big exactus, so the guide's in good shape, or the Bible, I guess I should say. And we also had to pick 5, so it's all good. Listen, when we got on the Derby, it wasn't all good. Today it is, so we're going to have a good time today, Magic. Come on, put on a happy face. Let's do it, buddy. Come on, Magic.
Put on a happy face.
Great, Jared. Tell us about that exacta. You had a $50 exacta play.
Yeah, $50 straight exacta, white, what was that horse's name? White Bean over Sopron Bacella, I think is how you pronounce it. It was one of those things where it's like, it rarely happens maybe, but when a race completely happens exactly how you thought it would. And that's really, I really liked the two. I just couldn't, actually for a little bit, I wanted to play the two on top, but I just couldn't get there. I thought, Grand Motion first in the United States is not great with that. The horse, I think, wanted to go a little bit longer, it looked like. So I thought the horse would run well, but just be a little short. And the one made it easy, right? Because the one just cruised home, and you just had to hope and get that 2 up. And man, that's the thing about horse racing. That one race later, I had the cold 4-6 exacta, and the 4 didn't get up. It was right there. So one race I got it, the other one I didn't. But yeah, it was a $50 straight exacta there. So up over $500 here with the Preakness coming up here. So yeah, a little bit better than 2 weeks ago.
Mike, the race before this, we started the late pick 5 that we covered and knocked us both out. And Chitara, the last horse that I left off my ticket, ends up getting the job done at a bomb price and screwed Amateur Alchemist as well. I know we were looking for that 9 to get home, just couldn't quite get her there.
Yeah, a little frustrating. I went back and looked at Chitara. We talked about Chitara on the show. I still can't get to Chitara. It's one of those like, all right, fine. If she wins, she wins. What are you going to do? So what can you do? So yeah, it's been a good day. Hit the early pick 5, early pick 4. So even for the day on all that stuff with the bets out or left out, which is nice. And then playing a couple tournaments, actually just shoved a horse here, trying to see if we can move up in one of those 2 tournament entries. Because I think this is a really interesting race just from a board perspective. We've got the 1, the 3, the 10, and the 13 all sitting there at 3-1. Kind of have your pick of the litter of which one you think gets the job done. And if you're right, you get paid out pretty decent on a win bet.
Noticing a question here from Ed Burke in the chat, and he's saying the showing size is still riding the 11. I know he was off last race. Has he returned? Do you guys know? I haven't been paying that close attention.
He has not returned yet. He went to the hospital complaining of leg pain. His wife was with him. They took him off up to the 10th, but have not announced him off the rest of the mounts today, although I have not heard he's back at the racetrack yet.
I'd be surprised. That was pretty unfortunate fall, and not even from a betting perspective. I know a lot of us had a lot of things wrapped up in that horse, and just was it was just really unfortunate of what happened there. So hopefully Luis Saez is okay. Trish saying he's still in the hospital. I would imagine he's not coming back after that. You don't just come right out of the hospital that quickly. I mean, nothing ever happens that quickly in a hospital. Anybody who's ever been there to the ER or to the urgent care, nothing ever is that quick. But hey, we got 4 minutes to post here for a 5 furlong turf sprint to Jim McKay, and kind of looking like the Kentucky Derby field in that, well, we had a full field and now there's 5 horses scratched out of here. And Mike, I know you burned the proverbial cigarette after Smoking Jay scratched out of here. So Artemis, I've heard him called Artemis City Limits. I still say Artemis. Right now, 3-1 favorite, very slightly over the 1, nothing better. Beer Can Man is 3-1. Coppola is 3-1. Mike Somich, who are you playing on top at these prices?
Give me nothing better. I'll take a horse who I think is on the upswing right now. Run a couple of very good races before the layoff, came back after the layoff. I thought was phenomenal at Aqueduct last time out. Now we're stepping back up into stakes company, and it's second off the layoff in the 6-year-old season. Son of Munnings, the horse is 5 for 11 turf sprinting. Workouts have been phenomenal. I'm a big Jorge Duarte Jr. fan. I think he does a great job for Colts Neck Stables to get these horses rip rare and ready to go. I think the one shows up here today, takes the lead from the start, and never gets caught.
Aaron, what about you, bud?
Yeah, good call on the 1 for Somich. I've got that horse in second. I like him an awful lot here as well. I think he's going to be pretty tough to beat. I do like the 3, though. I know, he's just not the favorite, actually. The 10 is, and, we could talk about how the odds have been strange all day and continue to be. But look, at 3-1, I think the 3 is very playable, just like the 1's very playable at 7-2. I like those 2 horses. I think they're the two to beat, honestly. I don't know why the 10 is bet down to 2-1. I thought the 10 was definitely a player in this game, but I think the 1 and 3 are a little bit better.
Jared, what about you?
Yeah, I'm the odds have been just, it makes no sense. They have made no sense. Some of the will pays have been great, others have been terrible. I'm with both these guys here. I got nothing better on top. I was hoping that Beer Can Man would draw in after the scratches. He did. So I like this horse quite a bit too. Demano coming in with Pratt aboard again. He's been riding this horse pretty much on a regular basis for the last several races. So yeah, I down off the 8-1 morning line to 7-2. I never thought we'd get 8-1 anyways, but I don't know. To me, this was a race I kind of avoided in terms of my betting. I didn't play much here just because I didn't have a great strong opinion. I do think the 3 could win, and I'm kind of playing against on top anyways. So I do like the 1, but I do think it's a tough race.
It's a little hard for me to play Coppola there especially as a 2-1 favorite. I mean, he had a great win at Churchill Downs last out, and since Dale Romans has had him in 3 starts, all turf sprints, he's looked fantastic in terms of the effort he gives. But both of his losses at Gulfstream came when he had some less than ideal trips. I'm a little worried he's going to have that same thing happen here again. So I am looking to play against him in this spot, but we'll see what happens here. They're getting ready to get onto the course here. Final bets. Anybody have a trifecta they want to give out?
I mean, I've got a big one win bet on the 1, and then I played the 1-3 more heavily than the 3-1. I think this is actually bettable because of how it's being bet. Like, I like the 10, but I like the 10 at 8-1 or 6-1. Right. I like the 13 at 8-1, but the 2 of them being bet down to 2-1 and 7-2. There's a lot of value on the 1 and the 3 here. I think they're known quantities versus horses you're trying to bet on the come up here. And I like the known quantities at these prices, especially when we've seen this many races from all these horses.
Honestly, when you look at this, I really didn't think the 1-3 or the 3-1 was going to pay $13 for an exacta, and that's what it's paying right now for $1. So I almost wish I had that bet on the Bible, and that's kind of the tough thing about it sometimes, because you don't know those will pays, you don't know those payouts, those probables. So until you get right here, but listen, 13-1 or $13 for $1. I think it does make sense if you want to play that. That's a price that's good enough. I was looking at the pools for the exactas as you guys were talking. Pretty much all these, they're very playable. There's not a real strong favorite in this exacta pool right now.
Yeah. All right, they're going into the gate here. I saw David Barista bringing up Determined Kingdom, longest shot on the board at 24-1, keying in 3rd and 4th. So that's a good way to, with all these shorter priced horses in here, to really spice up the exotics there. So good luck to you on that one. They keep showing this open gate brewery for Guinness, and it's making me sad. I mean, I love my Lagunitas beer, don't get me wrong, but I kind of wish I had a Guinness right now.
1 over 3, 13.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm surprised the 10's the favorite. I really thought that you were going to get like 6-7-1 on the 10. I realize there's a ton of scratches, but it just 2-1 seems so short. Obviously could win, but just seems short.
Really short.
I'll go 13, 3, 9. David Barista, I'll go with your 9 there in 3rd. Why not? Also, I love all the hate that Flavien Prat was getting for some of his rides, and then he completely destroyed us in that turf race. We're off.
And the 1 just dominated the break.
Yeah.
Great break.
1 got a head start, I think.
He's got to hold the rail, though. I hate this ride. What are we doing?
Yeah, now we're letting horses gang up on us. And
yeah, that's right. Go right on the rail.
Now you're going to get sucked in.
Oh.
What do you
do? Was that the 6 horse went right on by?
Yep.
Yeah, it looked like they
gave it away.
I got a little
scared. Man's already fading. He's falling off.
Where's Artemis? Come on, buddy. Start rolling.
See if this 1 is going to be able to re-rally.
I would expect the 1 goes right by.
Where is the 3?
3's coming down the outside now.
Come on, 1.
Come on, 1-3.
1 or 13. 1 or 13. Beer Can Man. Wow. Beer Can Man looked dead in the water in the turn, and he's going to win this race.
Right him back.
Wow.
Good job.
13, 1, 10.
13, 1, 10, 3.
I had that super on the. There you go.
There you go.
Did not play the super, but I had this.
13, 1, 10, 3. Yeah. Yeah, me too. 10. Where was the 10? Did 10 to get going late? I never really saw him.
He just kind of ran in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3 was all the way in the back of the pack. The 10 was kind of middle pack the whole race. The 3 tried to start rolling and just didn't get going, and 13 caught the 1.
Yeah, good, really good race from the 13.
Good thing the 13 got in, huh? Shit.
Watch that replay again, because I can't believe that he, like, in the far turn, he was falling off. It looked like he was going to be off the board, way off the board. How did you do that?
The turf races have been a little funky when sprinting this weekend. I've noticed they're kind of run a little bit differently than what we're used to. And I don't know if it's camera angles that make it look a little bit different, because the angles are really different from anywhere we see.
I'm so pissed at the ride on the 1 there. If you just hold the rail, that horse wins the race.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Chris Mello's saying 3 had a vicious break. I have to watch back and see, because I didn't see him at all. Mike, you said he's coming on the outside. I was like, sure. But if you say so, I have no idea where the hell that horse is at.
His chiclet started to move up pretty aggressively, and then it seemed to just kind of stop.
He went, Beer Cam Man did that last furlong in sub 11 and 3, if that time is right.
And they also went 12s after going 21 and change, which is pretty darn fast. It's hard to catch up in that when you're going that quick.
Turf has been playing really fast this weekend there too. It's a good, decent looking turf course, which is different from most of the races we watch this time of year, or any time of year. It seems like anymore.
Well, you can thank First for owning this track and not CDI owning it. I think that's the difference maker there. Jeez. All right. 13-1, 10. Sorry, 13-1, 10, 3, 11. A pretty chalky superfecta, but the horses that weren't chalky were like, what happened to the 6? The 6 was there, and then suddenly the 6 wasn't.
Yeah, the 6 looked like he was going to range up and maybe be something, and then not so much.
Hey, Mike, I've heard Phil D'Amato's doing okay when he ships horses away from California.
He likes doing it, man. He's had a strong Keeneland meet. Now it's obviously another winner here with Beer Can Man, who we talked about on the Magic Mike show too. He was fractious in the gate last time. Didn't really load as cleanly as you'd expect. You could tell it was his first time back off a layoff. Today looked much more professional and able to get the job done.
All right, let's see. Yeah, Flavien, I'm telling you, Flavien Prat was getting some. I didn't think so necessarily some deserving hate for some of his rides earlier, but he's still doing all right here.
He got that.
All right. Any final thoughts on this? What's that?
He got that 15-1 home on the turf earlier today too. That was okay.
I saw some people complaining about Eminent Victor and his ride on that, but I also never thought Eminent Victor was a serious player in her race, so I didn't really think was his fault on that one.
I mean, he tried to go up the rail and he got cut off. Not sure what else you're looking for on that one.
You're looking
to
for him
jump
to
over that horse, and we'll go win if I bet him.
hurdle the rail, cut the corner.
When you've got a horse bet, that's the kind of attitude you have. It's like he should have just jumped right over that horse and just went on. I don't know what
the
happened.
hell, Pratt.
All right. Well,
that's always as bettors, it's like, Halter and I were talking earlier in the day, after the size, he got hurt, and then in the next race I have the 2 that ultimately I cashed, right, that exacted, but that the 2 size was on, and you're like, oh crap, and you get Castellano, and as bettors, it's one of those things. If the 2 gets hung up a little bit, gets third, it doesn't quite get up, I'd probably sitting here saying, God, if Saez would have been on, like, that horse probably would have been good enough to get up there. And of course, now I'm like, that was great. It didn't matter, So it's just sometimes it's always about what happens before, it's hard to, like, as bettors sometimes to get like an unbiased opinion of the race, especially right after the race, right?
Yep. Oh, 100%. It's always, when you win, it's always like, anybody could have rode them, And then when they lose, that's when the jockeys come into play.
Yeah, jockeys are. They're like us, in betting, right? You get no love. You only get hate for when the bad rides. You don't get the love for the good ones.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So should we talk? I mean, I know we do. We have some time here for this next race. The timing gets wider and wider the closer we get to the Preakness here. But should we talk a little bit about how nuts these prices are in the Preakness right now? Like, I know, it started yesterday and you start to see the odds and you're like, well, that's interesting. And then this morning, and then at 1, and then at 2, and you're like, wait, what is happening here? Why is Mage at 2-1? 2-1. Your Derby winner, the only horse out of the Derby, is 2-1 in a 7-horse field where the main contender scratched from the race, First Mission. Guys, listen, I didn't think you could even dream up 2-1 with First Mission in the race. Now he's out of the race. What world are we living in right now?
I don't know. So last night when you sent it to me, I wasn't too concerned because usually that first click Saturday morning of the Preakness, that's when those odds really flip. And so I was expecting, 4-5, 3-5 when those odds flipped, and the horses stayed 2-1 the whole time. I can't explain why.
Yeah, I mean, we have almost 5 million in the pool as well at this point, which is about 25% of what I would expect is going to be bet on this race. You generally get between $20 and $24 million bet on the Preakness in the win pool. So it's not like we're, 2% of the returns in, right? If you're talking about election night, you're like, well, this shit doesn't matter, right? It can definitely change. This is a situation where we're significantly into the betting here, and you're seeing 2-1 on Mage. You're seeing 5-2 on National Treasure. But to me, and Magic has the implied odds from the Derby double pool. The 4 at 40-1 and the 2 at 57-1 are currently 7-1 and 8-1 in the win pool with $5 million bet. That is where the money is going. That's not going to the other horses that have a legitimate chance to win, which could be any of the 5 you could make a case for in my mind. So what's happening is it's the rich strike effect in the win pool. And we talked about this earlier on Dudes Who Bet Daily. It's going to be interesting to see Mage's price in the win pool versus Mage's price in the pick 5s, because there are different people that bet the pick 5s versus bet a win bet. And that's kind of where I think you're seeing this. And that's why you're not seeing the double prices line up, what we currently see from the pool.
It's from Marshall Graham on Twitter. So if you're not following Marshall Graham on Twitter, he's really is a great follow. He changed his handle, Degenicon Prof. That's different from the last time I saw Marshall on Twitter, but you've got that going. Nick Stevens, you're a real estate guy. You should know you got a good refinance guy to get in on Mage, right? Get that second mortgage down.
I think the biggest thing about this is when that happened last year in the Preakness, you remember nobody was high odds at all. And we're like, well, okay, it makes sense. This is a year and plus 2 weeks later from that rich strike situation. And this is still going on and still happening. I'm fairly shocked, to be honest. And I really thought the Derby, we talked about it, and I think you saw it a little bit. There were no long shots. Everybody's betting long shots. I really didn't expect it today. I just didn't.
I didn't think we'd have anyone over 25-1 today, but to have no one over 10-1 is wild. Because even if you're like, I'm going to go bet the longest shot on the board, and you're like, 8-1? True that. Like, what am I, that's not, you. What are you getting excited about at 8-1? It just doesn't make sense to me why there's still money coming out of these horses.
Yeah.
To further this, because, I think for me, and I think a lot of people, it's like, okay, because you assume, oh, well, like the win's out the window now. Can't bet a win on him because he's going to be 2-5, 3-5, or whatever. Obviously, we're seeing that that may not be the case. So you start looking at other alternatives, you start looking at tries, you start looking at exactas, you start looking at supers, whatever you're into. I mean, obviously, I do a ton of research on these when I'm crafting like the Bible bets and things like that, and trying to look at past years and what this paid and that paid versus, and who came in and what order and, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I think the tries will pay well. I think the super could pay really well, all things considered, because it just feels like it's doable to hit these this year, given the field we have.
Yeah. It's crazy. It really is crazy to think like when and you could go back just 2 days ago when we were doing shows and when we heard the scratch of First Mission, and it's like, this ruins everything. And this horse is going to be 2-5. And now, these other horses are, and it's like, no, for Mage is higher now than what we expected when First Mission was in the race. And It's just like, how can that be? And again, if you're with him or against him, that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about what are fair odds to play horses. He's fair odds without any question right now. And it's just wild to think that it's holding. I just never dreamed that would hold like this. And maybe it won't, but I mean, as Somich said, we've got a decent amount of money in the pool now. It's not like there's $200,000. I mean, you're getting up $5 million in this pool now, and this thing hasn't budged when it comes to Mage.
If you look offshore too right now, Mage is -120, so 4 to 5. Your second choice, National Treasure, 2.5 to 1. Blazing Sevens is 7 to 1. That's the only other horse under 10 to 1 overseas.
Yeah.
So it's really just this one pool here with $5 million, but it is the focus pool because it is the pool that everyone in the U.S. is betting into, North America is betting into. So just a very interesting scenario to see how this is playing out. And a big question is, when the pool goes live, will you see the adjustment? And then at the last 2 minutes, will the computer-assisted wagering decide to get involved? And if so, how much can they actually move it? Do they have the liquidity to put in $5 million and actually move the thing, or is that not going to happen? I mean, those are the two big questions to me. Is if this thing is as messed up as right now with a minute to post, how big of an investment do you see coming in on Mage, and how much does it affect the odds?
Yep, it's going to be fascinating to watch. I mean, unfortunately, we're going to have to watch it for an hour, but it is going to be fascinating to watch for that hour. If you guys remember with Nick's Go, right? It's like that whole hour between the last race of the Breeders' Cup and the Classic. We're sitting there and like, there's no way he's going to stay at 5-2. There's no way. And he just did. But he also was that projected price on all the doubles and pick threes, pick fours, pick fives, all that shit. This is different. This is not what this is at this point. And Marshall's tweet, he's projected to go about even money. So it's going to be very fascinating to see what happens.
Yeah, and to kind of put in perspective, a general win pool that people complain about a horse getting crushed is about $1.2 million, $1 million, somewhere in that range. So at the last flash, a $50,000 bet makes a huge difference. The tournament I lost, a $10,000 bet moved the horse from 10 to 1 to 6 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
This is a $24 million pool. Like, it would take $6 million to be able to move the number that drastically right at the gate. And that'd be interesting to see if that would actually happen, because if Mage is 2 to 1, he is that far off true odds.
What odds, this is a great question from Amateur Alchemist. What odds do you say max bet Mage? I mean, is it even money? Is it 4 to 5? Aaron, what would you say?
Well, I've got it as a wager as low as 4 to 5. And I just look, I'll put it to you like this. Forget about the Kentucky Derby. Pretend it never happened, right? And pretend this isn't the Preakness. It's just his next start, and this is the field that he lands in his next start. Let's say it's the Ohio Derby, right? Because that's kind of what the field would look like if we didn't have Mage's Kentucky Derby. What price do you think he should be? Take out the Derby out of the equation and just all of his other races versus what you see on the screen. He should probably be about 8 to 5 without the Derby into the equation. You add that into it, it's like, my goodness, I think he should be about 4 to 5, even money for sure. So I'm all in with him as long as he holds at 4 to 5 or higher. And honestly, I'm really not worried about it. They just flashed it up as I was speaking again. He's still 2 to 1, over $5 million in the pool.
Jeez. Here, I'll pull it up real quick.
Perform, for example. Oh, there you go. Perform is 7 to 1 to win the Preakness. He was 10 to 1 to win the Tessio last time out. I mean, that's really surprising in my
Chase
opinion.
the Chaos is 7 to 1. It's 50 to 1 on the morning line. 7 to 1.
Who's betting that horse?
I don't know.
Someone who's chasing the chaos. I mean, that's the only logical explanation.
Well, and again, I want to be very clear about this. If you like these other horses, we're not saying don't do it. You're crazy. Don't do it. We're saying the odds are insane. Blazing Sevens is 4 to 1. Maybe you bet Blazing Sevens and maybe Blazing Seven wins, and great if that's what happens to you today. But 4 to 1 is like a mind-blowing price. Even if you love Blazing Sevens, you've got to bet on it. You got to be sitting there going, 4 to 1? I can't believe he's being bet like this.
I actually think Blazing Sevens is about where I thought he'd be. I mean, he was 6 to 1 morning line, and he's clearly the third choice in the race. Now. I'm just shocked at the amount of money that the 2, the 4, the 5, and the 6 are getting.
I mean, the thing that sucks is about if you are a mage, then it's great. We're all like, licking our chops here, thinking, "Gosh, can we get 2-1 on them? Can we get 8-5 or whatever?" The problem is that pretty much anyone else, maybe not like Perform or Red Route 1, because I could just see them getting bet a little bit. Maybe that's a little lower, but still. But say you really liked, National Treasure, or like especially like these long shots, the 2 or the 4. And say you win, like the EV is not there. It is just not like you should have got more out of that bet. And that's the problem. If you don't like the favorite, you're not really getting, I mean, yeah, like you said, like you cash a bet in the Preakness and you beat the favorite. That's great, right? It's always going to be great, but you're not going to get rewarded in this race as much as you probably should have been based off of the weird betting right now.
Well, I think the best way to put it is every single horse's morning line has dropped except Mage. Every horse is lower than their morning line price except Mage with $5 million in the pool.
Let's not forget he went when first mission scratched, they adjusted the morning line. He was 4-5.
Yeah,
he was a 4-5 favorite, and he's double that now.
Every single horse is below the adjusted morning line except Mage. I think National Treasure was 5-2, so right on it. Chase the Chaos was way higher than that. Coffee with Chris way higher than that. Red Route 1 was 8-1. Perform was 12-1. Blazing Sevens was 6-1 or 5-1. So every other horse has gone down except Mage, who is over doubled in price.
It's unexplainable.
that is an accurate statement, Jason.
Yeah.
And I mean, again,
woke up from a dream.
All that matters is who crosses the line first, and if you got that win ticket on who crosses the line first, you're going to be happy. But
to me, this is more of a case study. I'm more interested in the betting theory and logic behind this, and if it's predictable of when it's going to happen again, and what will happen once the pool goes completely live. Because there's still a lot of money that's not in this. There are going to be people that are betting Mage. I don't think 2-1 is realistic, even with $5 million in the pool already. It's just going to be interesting to see what happens when this thing opens up and the general public, and we're still waiting for $20 million in this pool. When that starts to roll in, it'll be see what interesting how it happens. Yeah. And when people see him at 2-1, it'll be interesting to see if that creates more Mage money as well.
Yeah. I think it's stitches. Like, don't you think? Well, I don't know the answer, but like, let's say, I'm trying to think of a horse. If Angel of Empire or someone that was like decent odds in the Derby, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1. Like, if that horse is in here, basically my question is, do you think because Mage was a perceived long shot that won the Derby, unexpected, that people aren't respecting them here? In the flip side, if it was Todd Pletcher with Tapit Trice or whatever, that horse is going to be bet down to 2-5 here. I think there is something of that in play. And I mean, the real people like us, I mean, obviously you were on them in the Derby, Somich, but we kind of know what we saw and how impressive it was. And it's like, but I think maybe some people are thinking, well, that was fluky, I'm not going to bet him here.
I logically cannot tell you what people are thinking because of how weird this is. Because even if that's your logic, why the hell is the 2 7-1, right? And maybe the other part of this is that the people betting this have not seen this pool yet, right? Where they're like, oh, it's 50-1. I'm going to go bet the 50-1 shot.
Yeah.
And then when the pool goes live an hour before the race, everyone sees the horse is 7-1. They're like, oh, I'm not betting that horse, right? And that's when you start to see some fluctuation back to the norm. So going to be interesting to see over the next 2 hours as we get closer and closer to this race, how that pool is affected and what the actual off odds on Mage. I think one of the reasons we're all talking about this, if Mage loads in the gate at 2-1, I'm going to have a 4-figure bet on him to win. It's that simple. It's coming. So we gotta see what happens where he loads at, because it's wild to think this horse is going to go off at anything over 6-5.
Well, and to Mike's point, sorry, Magic, to Mike's point real quick on this, if say you're on Twin Spires, for example, and you go to race 13, you go, I'm just going to bet the Preakness. They don't have updated odds. It's just their morning lines are all that's listed. So what you just said could make a little bit of sense, but how many?
Thanks, Aaron.
You're welcome. But
just a little bit.
But Somich, how many people are doing that aren't going to look? I guess a lot is the answer.
I think the answer is a lot, because if it was people who were looking at it like us, we would all be canceling our win bets on any horse except Mage right now, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. And so if it's people who, it has to be more of the casual person who's like, oh, okay, I'm going to bet the Derby early. I want the longest shot on the board. That to me is the most logical reason for why we're seeing these numbers to where they are right now.
Yep.
Do have some good news from Louis Size's agent, Karen McLaughlin. He says that his X-rays are clean and he wants to ride tomorrow. So Louis Size is all good. Doesn't sound like he'll be back today, but he wants to be riding tomorrow. So we'll see. So that's good news that everything came back okay in a really shitty situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great news.
I mean, I know like it's like who cares really at the end of the day, but it's like, man, if he has first mission in the Preakness, is he coming back for that? You know, like that's rough to miss that amount if the horse hadn't already scratched.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Never forget, but that Justify won the Triple Crown at 4-5 in the Belmont. Like that to me is one of those ones where you look back and go, how the flip did that horse go off at 4-5 when he was trying to do the Triple Crown? Like, it could be a similar situation with Mage where you're like, it's 2-1, 8-5, whatever it is. You're like, you have to play. There's just no reason not to at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's wild.
I mean, this could be another Knicks Go, where for years we reference, hey, remember that time we got 3-1 on Knicks Go?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a beautiful day.
Oh man,
Aaron's never been so high in his life.
That's true. Literally, he's not talking about the
It was one of those things I didn't even remember. I didn't realize I was doing it until you were already like, I already had you up like this, and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
It was fun.
Apparently, if you're not watching on an ADW or the track feed, apparently we're switching from CNBC to NBC. So don't forget to do that. Although, really, just whatever you have it on, just mute it. Stay with us here on YouTube. I promise we'll be better than whatever they're going to do over there.
We are going to have a fashion segment in about 6 minutes, though, so stay tuned for that.
Yep.
Jared has a beard care segment in the second half hour as well.
I'll go get my beard oil and demonstrate that. I think I might shave it. Maybe not shave it, but trim it up. Might a little Somichy looking. I think.
I'm mad Derma didn't win the Derby. I wanted to see that happen.
Full shave if you get 8-5 or better on Mage and he wins.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. Hey, how about this? Let's make Mage winning. If I'll give it out later. Give the people something to listen for later. If my super hits, that I played in the Bible, I will shave it.
Okay.
Live on the air right after the super?
Not right now because it's gonna be messy and it's gonna get everywhere. Like I gotta plan this out a little better. It's a lot of hair, Somich. Okay.
I kind of want to go hair first, and then you shave the beard right after.
I'm not shaving my hair. I'm shaving this. Okay. Let's make that very clear. So we'll see.
I mean, I'll say if Mage wins, I'll say it. If Mage wins, I'll shave beard.
Okay. Yeah. So will Halterman.
Right. Yeah. Me too. Wait, if Mage wins, I'll grow a beard. What about that?
What do you think
you can't that things you can't handle.
No, I will
try. That's a check your face can't cash.
I will try.
If it was me and Somich versus Halterman and Magic for 1 month, no shaving, who can grow the longest beard? Like what are me and Somich like 1 to 100, 1 to 9 easily, right? No chance.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone on Aaron's team is screwed.
Yeah.
I don't think you would even notice Halterman didn't shave after a month.
Well, you're gonna find out. I'm gonna grow one if he wins this thing today. At 8-5.
Mine Wolverines. I don't go like you get the length down from your chin. I just go out to the side. It's like a giant like hedge bush right there on my face.
Interesting.
There you go.
All right. Good to know.
Let's try and do that. We'll all grow beards until Belmont Day if Mage wins.
Okay.
All right, we got 14 minutes to post. What do we go? What race is this? I'm still angry at the turf sprint ride.
Murphy? 11.
The maiden sprint, 6 furlongs, grade 3.
Or the Maryland sprint.
Win, right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Maryland sprint. Magic, tell us why you love Prevalence.
God, I hate Prevalence. Okay, if you like Prevalence, they've never run at 6 furlongs with him. So it's like they've literally tried everything else they could with this horse, and he sucks at it. So they're like, maybe 6 furlongs on Preakness Day when there's really not that many, solid horses in here. But That's the best case I can make for him. Iran hops aboard. He doesn't have that enough early speed, I don't think, to matter at 6 furlongs. Just ugh.
I don't think he has enough anything anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him. I mean, I don't think he was ever really that good, but man, he's really bad now.
I mean, he won the Grade 3 Commonwealth, guys, going 22, 44, and 3.
That
did happen.
In what year?
I think it was last year, wasn't it? 2022, 2 years ago. Yeah, no, last year, 22. It's not 24.
I was like, just going to let you figure that out yourself.
Yeah, wait a second here.
He ran a 99 buyer the race before, then ran a 98 buyer in the Commonwealth. And then from there, went to Churchill and ran a 33 buyer, beating 38 links to Jackie's Warrior. And is literally like Jackie's Warrior killed him. He's never been the same since. I mean, just absolutely, it's been awful since.
That is one of those rip the heart out type things. Like, did the horse just lose its will to continue to run after being beat like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The horse was really, I mean, you could say, okay, so like the horse was good. Obviously didn't pan out for the Wood Memorial, the Pat Day, that kind of stuff kind of came back, not very good, but then had a little, those 2 races where you're like, oh, that horse is pretty decent. Yeah, I am not, this horse is going to have to beat me forever. I'm never going to play this horse. I like the 10. Brittany Russell's been on fire. Like, holy shit. So I think this is a horse that makes a lot of sense here. 7-2, not getting bet super hard. So drawing outside is a little bit of concern for me, but with the speed, but hopefully the horse doesn't get hung out too far. There is a decent amount of speed in the race. So that is a little bit concerning as well.
I like the 10 as well. You get her husband, Sheldon Russell, aboard, and you would expect, at least that I did, that the 8 and the 10 are going to go to the lead early. And the issue I didn't like the 8 at all in this race going into it is because the races when he's gotten an easy lead, he'll be able to hold on. But as soon as he gets challenged, he just throws in the towel and doesn't really have anything left. And so I'm afraid that against these horses here, if he and the 10 get into a speed duel early, and he's on the inside, I expect the 10's going to be able to power pass. It's a matter of, can he hold off Nakatomi? Can he hold off Hello Hot Rod? Can he hold off Prevalence?
He can
hold off Prevalence.
I think this sets up beautifully for Nakatomi. I think Magic kind of made the case for Nakatomi without even trying there. There's a ton of speed in here. Nakatomi's the one that wants to come from off the pace. This Laurel track on the dirt side has played pretty fair over the last 2 days. You've seen horses be able to close and get the job done. I thought Nakatomi was going to be closer to 8-5 or sitting there at 5-2. If I was going to play a win bet, I'd go to Nakatomi. I do like Prevalence a little bit. I'm willing to give this horse a shot back here. Even since that Jackie's Warrior loss, I mean, the spots that we've seen Prevalence in are pretty brutal. His syllabus has been running really well, endorsed up to the mark on turf. That's a grade 1 winner. Like, it's just been kind of brutal there. So I'm willing to give Nakatomi a shot. I'm willing to give Prevalence another chance at a little bit of a price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Oh, is it my turn? Yeah, listen, I think Nakatomi gets the setup today. That's the key, and I think Somich said it. So, listen, this isn't a great race, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is going to be awesome. It is what it is, right? I mean, it's the second-class sprinters here in Maryland, and we'll see what happens.
I don't like let's see, what is it? The Hello Hot Rod a little bit. The 9. I'm a little concerned though. Like, I don't hate the idea of like playing if you're trying to beat Nakatomi, which I understand why you would be using the horse. To me, it's like Nakatomi either wins or you try to beat him completely. Because I could see a situation where it's like I'm going to play the 9 and the 10, hope that they can be on the lead and hold on, and get Nakatomi out, right? And then if you want to play it the other way, play Nakatomi over the 9 and the 10 or something like that, to juice that up if Nakatomi were to kind of run them down. But I do think that's 7 over 10 if you believe the 7 it's set up well, is a nice way to play it in a situation where there is some value on that 10, I feel like right now.
I think so too. I was shocked. I thought the way Russell's been winning races, and this is kind of a a local, Maryland at least, horse, and I kind of thought this horse would take a lot of money here. And I guess 7-2 is not anything to sneeze at, but you're right. I mean, he's not even close to favorite, and I thought he would vie for that favoritism. So I do agree. It's the right price. Like I wouldn't be worried about 7-2 on the 10. That makes sense.
Well, what about the other Brittany Russell? Since we know she shafts her husband and gives the better mounts to Toledo, he's riding the 9, not the 10 here, and you're getting 11-1 on there. Are we sure we don't want the other Brittany Russell?
I used him. I like him. I think as long as he can kind of stay a little bit closer to that pace in the say like third, fourth, fifth spot, I think he's got a really good chance in this position. I know that Brittany Russell likes both of their chances, but she's been liking her chances, understandably so, for a lot of these races. You could make the case that Nakatomi, it might be a favorite you could try to beat, because outside of Keeneland, really, I mean, he kind of struggles to win, right? I know he won at Churchill Downs last summer in an allowance sprint, but when he steps up and leaves Keeneland, he's kind of been a little iffy to play. And Hello Hot Rod last time out, he lost to Frank Whiteley Stakes, but he's cutting back from 8 furlongs, 7 furlong races. He had a really game effort in that spot. It just seemed almost like 7 furlongs last out. Might have been just a touch too much for him to try, and now he cuts back to 6. He hasn't won the distance in 2 starts, but he has a second and a third. And like you said, Mike, Javian Toledo's been riding all the winners for her mostly at this meet at Pimlico. So it's especially at those odds, it's just you have to wonder. You have to try and figure out how the pace is going to work out and if he's going to be close enough to be able to take advantage of it.
I wanted to address this. I don't want to throw him under the bus at all, because I think we've all done it at some point. But if Joseph says if you went with a 13 all double in the last race, basically playing that last race for a double into here for $20 or $50, you won a long shot, and that would be true. I would never recommend playing an all in a double. Like that just it's insane to do that. First of all, I don't even want to factor what that bet cost if you're playing it for a $20 base. But listen, like there's no point of playing it with the favorites, and that's why we always talk about like what the wheel pays are looking like. What the probably you get an idea, a sense of okay, like if this, like here's what I'm betting $5 or whatever base, and I'm trying to make at least X amount, and then you can start to bet accordingly, right? You can bet the 13 with the 7 and bet that for $20 straight. Then you can bet the 13 with the 9 and bet that for $5. And you can place those bets accordingly versus just going all. And now all of a sudden it'd be great if you had a $20 13-9, right? But the likelihood of that hitting is very slim. So you might as well just try to lower your your bets based on the will pays versus just boxing all those together and basically costing yourself way more money.
Can I do some math for you real quick, Jared?
I would love to know.
Okay, so it would if you bet, it would be $450. So we'll just call it a $9 one because it makes it easier for the math here. You get $4.50 to win for $1 on prevalence. So if you had it for $9, then you're essentially getting 9 times 45. You're getting
$40.50.
Yeah, $40.50. The 2 pays $38.70. The 8 pays $14.90. The 10 pays $25. So if any of those hits, you'd lose money. The 7 pays $22. So if the 2, 7, 8, or 10 hits, you would be significantly in the hole. You'd be slightly up if the 9 hits, and if the 9 or this 5 hit, and you'd have a good day if the 1, 3, or 6 hit. So you're essentially rooting for just the 3 long shots, or else you cost your money by not simply just betting a win bet on the one horse you liked anyway.
Yep.
Right, and if that's the case, if that's what it takes, well, you might as well. If you want to play it like that, you might as well just have played the 13 with 3 long shots.
Yeah,
don't even mess with the other ones. I mean, if that's the way you're going to bet it.
It would be correct to bet it to win for X amount of horses and then bet the double for other horses if that's how you want to try to attack it.
Basically, the only time you could go all in a double, and I still wouldn't recommend you do it, but if you start off at the first leg and you like a 10 or 15 to 1 or whatever, a long price, then you're not going to have any of these problems that we're talking about, right? But if you start out going all with a 3 to 1, double to the next, that's when you're getting into some negative expected value wagers, and you never want to do that.
Yeah, you still should just bet it all to win on the second race.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm saying it's still not great, but that is a situation where you could, and it's not the worst thing you could ever do. It's still not the correct thing, though. No.
Well, we're 3 minutes to post here. 9-5 now on straight no chaser. Going to go off the favorite. Looks like here over Nakatami. Interesting. I kind of thought. I mean, Nakatami. Even though I'm kind of playing against in a sense, 5-2 is a decent price. I think on him. It's fair. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Does anyone have big opinions next race? Just looking at doubles.
I really like the 1 or the 9 in the next race, but those are not going to be great doubles, I don't think.
I like the
7-1 doubles paying 20-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Magic Ice the 8. What's the 8 paying?
30-1 on the 8, 7-8 double.
Okay.
I like the 8, and I'll give you a crazy price that I'm interested in. The 6.
I'm gonna play a 7-8 double at 30-1.
I really like
getting Irad for ride instead of Jose. That's a big bump up.
You're going to get the price killed because of that. He did have Jose on. If anybody watching this, I would urge you guys to go watch. We'll talk about the race. A big time replay hunch on that one. But I think the 9 though. I think the 9 is going to be tough. And what's the 9 pay?
9's getting hammered. 7-9 is $9. 8-9 is $7. That's your favorite double right now.
Okay. I mean, the 9 I think is going to be tough.
I think Wonderful Just. I like the 8 quite a bit.
You talk about brutal trips? Go watch that last race for the 8.
That was just atrocious, man.
Just terrible.
Yep.
I'll cue it up when we get there.
The biggest concern at this point is who he's trained by. I mean, those horses aren't running very well right now.
Seems like him and Pletcher horses aren't running very well, I don't think, right now. And not just all here, but at Belmont, I haven't seen him run that well right now either. So, I don't know. Something may be up when it comes to that. Don't know what it'd be, but.
Man, is it worth playing a pick 3? Or do you think that pool is just going to be Mage hammered, right?
Well, it's hard for me to answer that.
I have a feeling the multi-race bets are going to pay terribly and the win bet will pay well. That's
my assumption. Yeah.
I think National Treasure is going to take a bunch of, even in the pick 3s, the multis, I think he'll take a bunch of money. I mean, Baffert, if we don't have something disastrous happen, Baffert's got 2 winners today, right? Like we all thought having a meltdown was going to win that race the way he was moving until he broke down. So his horses are showing up. People will look at the blinkers being back on. Sorry, Aaron. Go ahead.
No,
3-2 on straight no chaser.
Yeah, it's a crazy short.
That's my racehorse money right there. People are nuts.
Yeah, with having a meltdown, I definitely think you're right. That's what was kind of. I mean, it's always shocking when that happens, but boy, he looked kind of flawless, and he looked like he was just running smooth as silk, and then all of a sudden, it just out of nowhere, a bad step. That was horrific. Hate to see that, but
yeah, that was like a real quick of like. Roller coaster of emotions. You're like, oh, we got this, and he's going to roll. And then went, oh no. And I mean, anybody that's been in the game long enough, not even that long, really, you knew instantly, okay, this is not good.
That was definitely a turn it off moment.
Yeah.
You know the difference between one that's just kind of dinged up and one like that. And that was bad. And yeah, you definitely did kind of feel like, you did have that in your heart for a second, and boy, we may see something big because he's really looking great. And then,
Nick, I agree. I think it's a great bet. The biggest thing is like when you can find value, like create value, and look at those positive EV situations. And in this case, like I think we can all agree the 7-5 is a bad favorite here, right, in this race. And so there's opportunity to even if you like the favorite in the next race, there is some opportunity, but. To play this double going right now, trying to beat the 8, whether it be with the 7 or whether it be the 10, into the 1, into the 8. And, I really like playing it. The 10 8 double or whatever it is, or 10-6, if you want to get crazy. But like, I just think there's opportunity here because of this. The way this 8 is being bet is crazy.
He's
Prevalence
wearing
money
the 8 is
kicking
wearing
out.
house silks. My racehorse somehow didn't send their silks to Pimlico, and he's sitting there in the house silks. Like, I have a general rule: I don't bet house silk horses. If the owners didn't give enough of a shit to send the silks over there, why would I give a shit that the horse is going to win?
That's not terrible logic.
It's interesting to see where they break here. If you're looking at the Pimlico feed right now, with the gate all the way out to try and give it more room on the rail to break from the 6 furlong mark there.
I just saw that too. I was like, that's weird.
Prevalence down to 5-1 here, Magic. Dropped from 8-1 morning line, was sitting on 7 or 8-1 most of the race. Now we're down to 5-1 here.
Magic.
I'm just saying this because I actually like Prevalence and Magic hates him. That's why I keep bringing it up.
Was that your money, Magic? No? Okay.
I have zero interest in Prevalence.
Don't say. Look at DD, pair of 8s. That's good. Let's do a double D's. Double D8s. How about that?
I played a 7-8 double.
There you go. I like that. I like the 8 a lot. I'm glad you do too, Somich, in the next race.
That is a trip horse for me. That last trip was awful.
Yep, me too. That's exactly the same way.
You talking about the 8 in the next race?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Horrible trip. Yep.
All right, there goes the donkey wearing the 2.
Magic, who you like here? Who's your top pick?
Ooh,
Prevalent.
at these odds, it's the 10. Wonder where Craig is.
I'm going to go with 7 Nakatomi. Jared?
Agree with Magic. I think those odds are crazy. 4-1. I'll play that.
Aaron?
I think the odds on the 7 are a little better than what I would thought because of this 8 too. So I'll go 7.
Yeah, I think the 7-5-2 is nuts.
Yep. I think both those are good opportunities based off of the people betting the 8.
I wish I had a 7-10 exacta, but I don't. But that's all right. When the gate's open, you could all change. You could all change.
Prevalence is going to win. It's going to go 2-7, and you're not going to worry about it.
Well, and that could be 2. The 3 could win. Chitara won today, so I mean, the 5 could win. The 6 could win.
That's an excellent point. Willie Boy's Day. Chitara and Willie Boy on the same card.
Oh, God.
War Toxin. Uriah St. Louis.
Toxin. There you go.
There we go.
He gets one of these about once every 2-3 years. They're
They're
off.
off. There goes your 8.
Yeah, I did not want the 7 in last.
No.
It's not ideal.
The Prevalence is right up on the muscle there.
Oh, here he comes, Magic.
Ready to
On
run
the
a big
muscle.
one.
10's got a nice little tracking spot there.
Yeah, good spot for the 10 for sure.
Broke well. Got in a good spot considering 22 and they're not.
That's pretty slow. I thought they go a lot faster than that
Say
here.
for 6 furlongs, they're not going insanely fast.
The 8 kicked away pretty good there for a second. Here comes Prevalence, though.
Here he comes.
Prevalence
Yeah,
looks
okay.
loaded, guys. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Magic, you're in trouble.
Oh, the 10 is the 10 backing up?
Yeah, the
10's
not-
backed off. Well, he's doing the
Come
same
on,
thing Beer
Nakatomi.
Can
Get
Man
loose on
did.
the outside.
8's
Where you
gone.
at? 7.
Eight's just
cruising.
Johnny's not even moving on the 8. Jesus.
Hey, 7, go get the
Holy
2.
smokes.
Quit, Prevalence.
Yeah, 7's going to
He's
get
quitting.
there.
He's quitting. Don't worry.
Quit, Prevalence. Quit. Get up, 7. Get up, 7. Get up, 7.
He's got
Get
it.
up,
He's
7.
got it. No, he
Oh!
8-2-7.
I won't call it. I learned my lesson.
I'll call it. It's 8-2-7.
Sit there and talk all about how this is a bad favorite we're all playing against, and the horse airs.
Just airs. Well, I actually didn't think he'd get that loose.
I didn't
thought
think they
there
go
was, like-
22-2.
Yeah, but I thought the 10 was going to go. That's why I didn't like Wonder Where Craig is. I thought he was the one who could press. He went 21-4, 44-2 last time. What the hell is he doing out there? Just hanging out, grabbing a coffee.
The 10 just gave up. Hey, Magic, at least look at it this way. The 8 saved the 2 from winning. We didn't even talk about Prevalence winning. So
Sure.
and it would have been like the ugliest win of all time, too. So just freaking dominated. Yeah, is that a little audition there for what we're going to see from Johnny V later? I don't know.
I mean, he's
That
going to
just cost
try.
me $100. That's all. Jesus.
Wow, 8-7 exacta was paying 10-1. You're right.
Yeah, it cost me $100.
Oh,
If I learned one thing today, it's Jared's the one to tail in the Bible.
I mean, I had a disgusting beat like that earlier. I mean, it's just. I thought the whole stretch, the 7's getting by this too.
Yeah, I mean, the disgusting part is you didn't use prevalence, Aaron. That's the disgusting
Yeah,
part.
why didn't you?
If I would have used him, the 7 would have won. I mean, that is me with horses right now. I just.
I
God.
like this comment. Where did Craig go? We'll be wondering where he is for a while.
We all want to know.
You know, that horse does that sometimes. You see races every now and then where he just kind of doesn't fire.
Oh, Shoddy needed Willie Boy in 4th, and he got 5th.
Oh,
Halterman, you had in that. So of course, so did I. But in that 8th race, just how did you not get that exacta home with the 8 or the 4 and the 7? And then here it's like that's the gross part about playing exacta.
Friends don't let friends bet prevalence to win. Okay, that's the rule. You don't bet a bond to win. You don't bet prevalence to win.
Yeah.
Underneath, I don't give a fuck. Don't bet him to win.
You specifically said friends don't let friends pick practical moves or practical jokes going 2 turns, and then you picked practical move in the Derby. So I'm not sure if we can count your rules.
I also had a rule about don't play in house silks, and that just got blown up.
so these rules are not great. That's what I'm hearing.
I really don't get though. Like, why my racehorses got silks at like freaking Fauner Park? Why don't they have somebody at Pimlico on the biggest day of the year there?
I don't know.
Nobody cares.
No, you are. I can definitely confirm you're the only one that cares about house silks.
No, I meant my racehorse doesn't care.
Oh well, I got it. Yeah, I don't understand why they wouldn't care. No.
Does anybody really talk about my racehorse anymore? I don't know. I don't ever hear about it really.
Magic.
Well, Magic, he's a fanboy. He's an OG, you know. So.
Oh hell no. Magic's been off the my racehorse train for a while.
Oh no! What happened?
Oh, they sent an email describing how unfortunate it was that a horse I owned got in a paddock accident. They had to put him down, and right after that, they went, "Now look at all these wonderful 2-year-olds you can buy." And I was like, "Well, you just told me about a horse that died. I don't want to buy more horses right now." So no, a little bit of a bad taste.
I'm just surprised that you didn't enjoy spending a bunch of money and getting nothing back and having. It's like I never, you know, Millie loves it. She loves being an owner, but I don't. So I don't get it.
Good times with Tiz a Magician. That's
I mean, the key is if you're going into it expecting to make money, just walk out the door. You're wrong. Like if you're going into it, be like, hey, this is a cool way to have a cool experience. I don't mind spending $100 on it. It's not bad. It's just
or 5,000.
Hey, just ask him an offer. Okay, he tells you don't expect to make money. Okay, yes, spend $5,000, but don't expect to see it again. Okay.
Well, you know who doesn't get the tax breaks and everything else? It's the partial owners, man. Those are the ones who don't get all the other benefits from owning racehorses.
I'm with Bree. I don't get the my racehorse hate.
No, I think it's cool. It allows people to be an owner. Like just know what you're getting into and don't get mad if it's not what you think. You know.
Mm-hmm. Agree. It is what it is. It's a way to connect. It's a way to feel like you're a part of the game. It's you might get to network with a few people. I mean, that's what it is. It's not. I'm gonna give them this $100 and get 1,000 back. You know.
No.
It's not for me. I'll just put it that way. That's not.
I also did it because I wanted to go back and pet the horses, which I got to do for a while, and then they took that away, and I told them to piss on it. I just want to go pet the horses, and they're like, "No, you can't do that anymore." Why? Because you know Aaron Halterman, and he likes to take his dick out on horses. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't control what he does when Monomoy Girl is around. I'm so sorry.
Oh man, that was interesting.
When you took your dick out around Monomoy Girl, I know. We were all kind of a little weirded out by that.
I'm glad we're talking about it now. Here you go. CJ's having the same luck right now as far as getting close, not getting there. Any keys, just keep going. There's no magic secret to get out of it. You
Firing
just
away.
somebody just
Don't
died at
bet
my
more.
house. You just got to keep going. Just keep going.
Mike was right. Say that again, Mike.
Don't bet more.
No.
Don't
Don't
chase
try and
stress,
dig
don't.
yourself.
Yeah.
Stick with
Don't
the
try and dig
plan.
yourself out by chasing. Just keep trucking.
Whatever
Yeah.
your plan was, keep it going. Yeah, I mean you have to. What's the deal, Magic? No shots, no buying shots right now. If you guys,
We
if someone
can.
donates $100, Magic will do a shot.
No, I mean,
I don't even.
I don't have.
The problem is I don't have the alcohol for it right now. I didn't load up before this. So
You got
Yeah, I've got, and I don't have any hard liquor, and I got to go to a party with my wife for 4 hours after this. So
that sounds like you definitely should be
I
drinking.
think you
right
should
now.
be then.
There's Paulie. I knew Paul would be
Paul.
around. Be in a jail in the Louisville, Kentucky. Oof.
By the way, the horse I just touted big time there earlier, 5-1 now opening with Moonstrike.
Oh, Moonstrike.
Yeah, 5-1. So that sucks. 21 morning line, but 3-2 on the 9, 5-1 on our 8. Somich, you getting
It's
a
a
nice
fair
price
price.
there, and fantastic again at 5-1.
I mean, we can sit here and talk about these prices for 46 minutes, but when one runs first and one runs third, it doesn't really matter what price they are, is it? Does it?
Here we go. All right, there you go. Officially,
That's where I'm at.
$25 tip. Someone takes a shot. $100 tip. Everyone's taking a shot. Mike, you got a mini bar there, right?
No, I have to go downstairs.
What kind of a shit hotel are you staying at?
One without a mini bar because they have a full bar downstairs.
I'm not the only one drinking right now, right? And I'm only drinking beer.
No,
I'm getting ready to go get one. Okay.
Man, oh man.
I wish I had Casamigos. Jesse making me jealous here.
Oh, I do have some Casamigos. Well, you're not that far from me. Just come on up. Preakness is in like 3 hours. You can make it by then.
I could
Even with
make
Hollywood
it by
traffic. Aaron, you know this better than I do from watching. I only watch the dirt 3-year-old races. Can Sheldon Russell ride the grass all right?
I don't think it'll be a
Okay.
problem. I think it'll be fine. He's been around this area forever. He's rode tons of races on both surfaces. I think he'll be just fine. Now, look, I think Jared said it best. The Brad Cox horses really haven't fired up here this weekend. So, maybe if you're concerned about that, I think it's valid. But, and again, it's not ideal. Anytime you lose a jock like what the 8 had, it's not ideal. But Sheldon Russell, he's very capable.
Hey, there you go. Paloma. That's my favorite way to drink tequila. Love a Paloma. That's a good one. Jared, do you want to talk about the 6 Moonstrike? I have the replay keyed up here that we can watch if you want.
Why don't you pull it up and get it going here? We'll talk about it.
Which horse was he? Do you remember?
He was we drew from the 9, but I want to say he was the 7 horse.
We'll find out real fast based on the trip.
I don't remember which one he was.
You said he was 9?
Got the white, red, and blue. I think he's a 10. I'm sorry, he's a 10 horse.
He was the third from the 9.
Yeah.
He broke from the 9 of the 12 post.
Yeah, he's a 10 horse here. Okay.
10.
So it's really the trip's not terrible until they hit the stretch. And again, this is a horse that had ran 2 times on synthetic, switched over going a mile on the turf at Keeneland this is it right here, and 54-1 that day. So a huge price that day, and just Lannery, man, you got this horse and all. I mean, I think the horse would have won the race. Let's put it that way. You could argue that he would have won the race had the horse when they get in the stretch. This horse just gets absolutely murdered and has nowhere to run, and has, as you can tell, is just full of run. So, so he's sitting there. I don't remember who the 4 was in this race, but he's
McCarthy horse, maybe?
I think it's Arabian Lion.
We're watching the 10, Ed. He's in second to last right now. You can tell he's got tons of horse.
Oh, geez. Yeah, they just all backed up in front of him.
He's all the way to the back now. I mean, literally has nowhere to run. He tries to go up the
Oh,
rail.
my goodness.
He tries to get to the rail.
Oh, right here. Yeah.
And he's just, I mean, now he's cut off again.
It's a lot of interesting choices.
Whoa.
Oh, my God.
Look at that.
Yeah.
There he's cut off again.
Arabian Lion about killed him.
And look at him. He's just, I mean, he never had a chance to run whatsoever in the stretch. And I mean, yeah, you never know, right? But I just think this is a horse. Now, obviously, 5-1, that sucks. So if we can get it to float up to like 10-1, but I just think that that's a I know Somich, you're a big that's a replay horse, right? And to me, this is a horse that needs another chance. And I think the fact that now he's on, gets IRAD. It was Jose, gets IRAD on the mount. They go from that allowance race to a stakes race here on the Preakness undercard. At least tells you enough that they think the horse is decent to run the horse back. But yeah, just got killed right here.
Yeah, that's legitimate trouble. I mean, I have no idea why you try and ride the rail there. Like, why don't you just go wide at the top of the
Especially
stretch?
when 6 horses are all coming in on you.
Yeah,
That's not the
very, very interesting opinion. I agree with that. I think that the aggressive placement out of the race also shows how they feel about it. It's tough to swallow 5-1 here, though. That would be my biggest issue. The 20-1, I think it's a live shot. But that 5-1 is a little brutal. Because right here, if you're watching him, he has the option to just keep going wide.
Yeah.
Just follow the 5. And he tries to tuck in, and now here you could go wide and go inside the 9, decides to go inside again, and all of a sudden we run into a wall.
It's like he didn't see the 4 was slowing down in front of him. He's like, I'm gonna go. Oh shit. And the 5 gets up.
If we're having replay city, you want to pull up the Transylvania?
Yeah, we should pull it.
Yeah, Wonderful Justice. Yep. Give me 1 second here.
And it's also Nagnarok is your favorite here, so you get to see him run second to Mustache.
Yeah, I'll let Somich take this one because you want to talk about another just absolutely brutal trip.
This is a spot where he never really got a chance. This is the 4 horse here.
By the way, Webslinger finished 3rd in this race, who came back to look awesome. We saw in the Derby undercard.
Yep. So Wonderful Justice, the 4 horse. Nagnarok here is the 9. So if you want to see those two, and Wonderful Justice, I love how the break is, right? But then kind of just gets crossed over, which, all right, that's not the best thing ever. But the trouble for him comes about half mile far turn part of the race. So that's where you can start to actually look at
the
him.
red boom right there. He has to check up because the 6 horse got all screwy on him.
I thought the worst trouble was later though.
Yeah,
where he basically just backs out of it, right? I mean, it's rough. And right now, Nagnarok is in 4th, right? I think it is on the outside there, Black Silks. Nagnarok can end up running 2nd here. He's your favorite in today's race. The 4 there tucked on the rail. That's your 8 horse, Wonderful Justice. And essentially, he just tries to start making a move and gets absolutely shut down and ends up 8th or 9th after getting shut down. And then makes a little bit of a re-rally and shows there's still some interest there. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking for on a replay, is a horse that gets shut off and still has some re-rally, or is showing a big rally and gets stopped like Jared's horse did as well.
This one's frustrating to watch if you bet Wonderful Justice, just because it's like he's got kind of like the last one. He's got the horse, but the jockey just keeps thinking, and this was Flo aboard that day, he just keeps thinking the inside's the way to go. And right there, he gets squeezed and pushed back.
Yeah,
he had every opportunity to try and get that horse moved out, and he didn't try.
That's tough because our faces are there too. But yeah, he gets squeezed and just destroyed at the top of the lane, and then re-rallies off of it after it looked like he had a ton of energy going into the turn as well.
And then so your winner's the 9, second place at 9. That is your favorite right now, Nagnarok, and then 3rd there is Webslinger, who won the American Turf on Derby Day. Crazy.
That was a hell of a race. We were there live. That was a fun one to watch as they were coming down the stretch. You're like, damn, these horses are good. That was a really good race.
Definitely a little bit too. I think what we saw with the 2 earlier with that finished 2nd in that turf race, where size was off. You're seeing a situation here where if size is on board with this horse, like 6-1 is more than fair. Like, this horse is getting no play, and a lot of that is because of size being off. And I also think too, like, I'm not a big I don't take a ton of stock into it, but goes back to Lasix here. Was off the Lasix that day as well. So the horse had ran well on Lasix the 2 before with Wonderful Justice, which I think will help as well. Getting back to that. So listen, I don't. You kind of said it, Somich, and showed it, but for me, the 6-1 is just crazy. It's way too good of a price to pass up here.
6-1 seems pretty high. I mean, that's just. I'm surprised we're going above the morning line odds. I mean, Nagarok's taking some money, getting bet down. That makes sense. Fantastic again is floating up. The money on Moonstrike is a little surprising me. I think 6-1 is way too short there, but it's interesting that really the only 2 horses that are floating up right now are the 1 and the 8, who are the second and third choices on the board, and the money's coming in on the 9.
So I'm looking here at these will pays a little bit of the probables. The 9 into National Treasure is 8-1. 9 into Mage is 4-1. So if it gives you a little indication of how the betting that race. So clearly they're a little bit closer, and some of the other ones. If Fantastic again is 14-1 into National Treasure, 12-1 on Mage. Our 8 is 19-1. Somich, 19-1 on that double. The 8 into Mage is paying 19-1. That's really good.
To me, the interesting part about when you look at these doubles is that the 2 horse, so the 9-2 double is paying $255. That horse is currently 7-1 in the win pool. The 9-3 double is paying $4. Mage is currently 2-1 in the win pool, right? So it's clearly the win pool is the broken one here, not the double pool from that sense. You're still seeing the doubles, the pick 3s, the pick 4s being bet the way that we were expecting them to be bet.
Yeah, exactly.
One horse I'd like to talk about, I saw Pancho brought up, is the 3 horse, a Western Yarn, who right now is 14-1. So was 10-1 on the morning line, and now floated up to 14-1 right now. This is a horse that first 2 times on turf going 2 turns with Santino aboard, was pressured and went gate to wire, win by a neck, and then won an allowance. They were both at Tampa, but the last time out was 11-1 in the stakes race at Tampa going a mile, and had the lead early. And that ended up falling off late, but the winner was Talk of the Nation, who's 3-4 for Shug, and second place was Mustache, and we just saw Mustache win the Transylvania right there. I think of the 3, depending on how the break goes, if he can get to the front early, and we've seen this with Delacour horses before, where we think, I don't know if they're the fastest horse early, even though it looks like they need to be on the lead. They can spring a big upset here. So I like the 3 if you're looking for a price horse here. Aaron, did you like the 3 at all?
I think the 3's got a shot here. I'll be honest, I did not play the 3 on any tickets. So I'm with you, though. I thought this was an interesting pace horse. I'm really interested to see how that kind of plays out, because the 1, the 3, the 4, the 9, they've all kind of got that speed. They could get out there early, but you guys, we know how this usually goes when it's a turf race. Very seldom do you actually see that pace get crazy, right? A couple of them take back, a couple of them go, and then it kind of usually unfolds like that. But the 3 is definitely that candidate that could get out there towards the front, and you're getting the price. I don't hate it. The horse wasn't for me, but I certainly wouldn't talk you off if you're going to play this horse, especially if you're thinking, hey, we can hold on and get a piece of this thing, because you see it on the turf all the time, right? The horse gets out in front and maybe they don't win, but they hang on there for second and third at decent prices.
Might have to worry about the 1 Fantastic again on the rail, a horse that was actually entered for the American turf, and then Wesley Ward looked at the field and went, no, we're not going to do that, and they decided to save for this race instead. Johnny V's been riding very well. We just saw that last race, so he'll be breaking from the rail inside of him. Another one that was interesting to me, I didn't use in my pick 5 ticket, but I thought, if you want to go for a complete bomb, the number 2 Fade the Noise has only ever been sprinting, and finally, after his entire career of 4 or 5 starts sprinting on the turf, he's going to stretch out here, and he's been keeping good company. He'll be second off the layoff, and by Mendelssohn out of a Stay Thirsty mare, theoretically should be able to handle this. Mike, what chance do you give Fade the Noise to even hit the board in this spot?
I don't hate either maker if you're looking for a bomb. I mean, the 2 Fade the Noise, the 4 Top Recruit, both big numbers on the board right now. Fade the Noise should like the added ground. I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. This is a Mendelssohn. They usually want to go a mile, stay thirsty on the bottom. Doesn't exactly concern me from a breeding perspective, getting a mile distance. The trip and the pace, I think, is going to be kind of interesting because, look, the 1 wants to go, the 3 wants to go, the 4 wants to go. It feels like you could have a pretty decent pace set up in front. And the 2 and the 9 are probably the ones that tuck right behind those 3 horses. That could set up for a good trip for the 2 if he's then able to accelerate and show that sprinter's speed from the half-mile home. But he's going to have to deal with the favorite, who's going to be right around that exact same spot that you're going to see the 2 Fade the Noise be. I don't hate the idea of like a 2, putting the 9 over the 2-8 or the 8 over the 2-9, that kind of thing, because I do see that a world where this 2 horse can run second or third. I think it's going to be very difficult to be able to win considering the trip you're going to get and who's going to be right around him with this trip.
Circling the Drain, I see right at the wire bringing up another horse that I kind of liked is 9-1 right now. Brittany Russell, Javen Toledo. Didn't work out last race, but they're still hitting a 50% together at Pimlico. And the Dam, whose Cozy was a pretty decent turf horse, going 8.5 furlong. She had a few different stakes places, including at Saratoga. Cozine, back in his day, was a champion turf horse. So he's trying turf for the first time. Aaron, do you think 9-1 is a fair price on this horse when he's switching over to the turf? I know we've kind of watched him on the dirt trail, and he's a very kind of grinding, lumbering horse.
Yeah, that's just it. And sometimes when you do move over, to the turf, it does help a horse that has that kind of running style because, turf races are a little bit more of that kind of situation, a little bit more of a slower pace at times, or, most times I should say. I think it's going to be okay. It's another one. It just wasn't for me, right? Like, I just didn't like the dirt races all that much. And now we're going to try the turf. And I think it's going to have to move this horse up a little too much for me was my big thing, especially when you've got other options like you guys talked about. You got Moonstrike, you got Wonderful Justice. They've been on the turf. They've had more trips. They're both 6-1. Certainly the Drain sits there at 9-1. So it's like, is it really that big of a difference? Should I just want to go with a horse that might just be more established and also have that turf experience?
Lots of different ways to go in this spot. Jockey says race is a nightmare. I think this is a fun race from a handicapping perspective. But Jared, you're back. What do you think about this race?
Was I not gone long enough to skip it?
30 minutes to
really
post,
got 29
buddy.
minutes left.
Man.
Jared, give us your cap on Gulfstream Race 10.
Oh, well, are we talking about Gulfstream Race 10? No. I had to go get a beer, and I was watching on the on the NBC. Like they had the whole. I don't know. People are probably watching it. Like they had like the whole Mage, ownership in the middle, in the infield, talking to them, and they're just going nuts. Like they're just a bunch of younger guys, and they're all drinking. I mean, it's really cool. Like have that kind of the ownership, and obviously they're excited to be there. So I was watching that. I like the 8 here, especially at this price. If we're talking about this, the 6 is just. I mean, I have a 6 underneath. I'm glad I'm not playing it to win, just because there's just no value in that whatsoever. But I'm trying to beat the 9. I do like playing the 8 over the 9 and 8 over 6. Couple exactas. Those were paying nice. I'm kind of against Fantastic again, and not, typically when I'm against a horse, they run really well. So that should help if you like the horse. Listen, I think there's a situation where this is a speed and fade. There's a little speed in this race. I think the horse might be hurt by that, but definitely is an interesting horse coming back to the turf.
I was watching stuff. You guys know who Matt Halter is on his mom posts a lot of stuff on Twitter for horse racing. No,
maybe.
Okay. Well, then never mind.
Who is it? Like
Matt Halter. He's I don't know exactly what his disability is, but he's a huge horse racing fan. Yeah. And he goes around with his parents, and his mom has an active Twitter account where like she'll post video of him, like he loves to call the races and stuff. Anyways, he's a huge fan of Straight No Chaser, and I think he's got ownership through My Racehorse. So I was just watching a video that they're in the winner's circle, and they were going, "This is for you, Matt." So that's pretty cool because he couldn't be there.
That's awesome.
So. That's cool. Feel good story. We get Cody's Wish, we get Matt Halter with Straight No Chaser. That's good stuff.
Love it. Good stuff.
Lady
Who's
Irene is
singing
going to be
here?
at Churchill Downs here. Race 8.
Who's
Out
the
of Leslie's
singer?
Lady.
You may know who that was singing on the stage. No, okay.
No.
$6.356 million in the pool. Mage 2-1. National Treasure 5-2. Blazing Sevens 4. This is not changing right now. We're
No,
not seeing any changes.
it will not adjust majorly until the race prior to it is official.
Still, okay, you get $1 million in the pool. It doesn't change. That's one step closer, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. It's 17%. Yeah, I get it.
Let's see. Everyone has to. Let's take a guess here. Everyone has to gets a pick. Halterman, will start with you. What does when he breaks from the gate? I'm talking final odds. Like you look in the Equibase chart afterwards. What are the final odds? What are we getting?
7-5.
7-5. Somich.
Yeah.
Even money.
Magic.
I'm going to say, what was it? 160 is going to be 8-5. Yeah, 8-5.
I'm going to say
it's like
$1.60 just to cut the middle between.
There you go. Price is right.
Right. But yeah, I do think it's in that. But the point of that is like we all believe this is even money or higher situation, which essentially tells you you can double your money if you're playing a win bet, double your money on a horse that just won the Kentucky Derby. And his best, I'd say his most, based off the odds, his biggest threat is a horse who hasn't won since his maiden special weight. Sprinting.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, I get it. He could lose. But when you put it in terms of like that, it's like, dude, look out for the 4-figure bet, right, Somich?
Yeah, we'll see what we actually get. That's going to be the key here. Is what do we actually get when we get closer to post? How much does this drop? Because like the 2 isn't going off at 7-1, the 4 isn't going off at 8-1. It is going to adjust in those 2, and the money's going to come in on Mage. And when people see 2-1 on Mage, it's going to make people want to bet even more on Mage. So we'll see what actually happens when we get closer to post. I agree. $6 million is a significant amount now. So it's not like this is it's $800K in a $24 million pool. We're at 25% of the pool at this point, what we would expect to see in the win pool. So pretty surprising. He's still sitting there 2-1. But again, all of these bets are coming in without anyone seeing this. If you're betting on your ADW, even if you're betting at the track, you're not looking up at the TV, you're looking at the morning line. That's what people are betting these off of. The actual odds don't upload into those until that race prior to it goes official. So I think we're going to see quite a bit of an adjustment when people realize that the 50-1 they're betting is paying 7-1.
Yeah, agree.
I talked to Halterman and John White about it a little bit the other day. It was like it kind of feels a little bit like because in my mind, I think the logical mind is like First Mission goes out. Well, obviously all that money that you would have been betting on First Mission goes to Mage, but what's actually happening, it looks like, is all that money is actually going on National Treasure and really some of the other ones. But I just figured without First Mission, that money would naturally go to Mage, but instead it's like National Treasure is kind of filled in the First Mission role a little bit as being the other horse, right? That other horse that could beat him. And in our minds, I think we all thought that, at least I did, that Mage would be the one taking that money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought Mage, National Treasure, and Blazing Sevens would kind of split it. Blazing Sevens was always getting bet in this race, right? It's Irad Ortiz, it's Chad Brown after skipping the Derby. There's already the narrative that anytime Brown skips the Derby and aims toward the Preakness, the horse is going to win. He's won multiple of these already. Like I expected Blazing Sevens to take money, and with First Mission out, I thought National Treasure and Blazing Sevens would take the majority of it. We'll see what happens.
I kind of want to see this.
Yeah, that'd be funny. 6.5 almost now. What are the lowest odds you want to see Mage to still? I again 4-5.
Mine would be even money, but I have such a belief that National Treasure is the second best horse in this race. There's a very few scenarios I would not have a larger exacta 3-1 than a win bet on Mage.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what what some of these exactas are looking like. When this race ends, to kind of get an idea of that's because that to me, I mean, this is when we do the Bible or you're making your bets or anything in the morning, you're like, okay, I'm thinking this is what it's going to be, and so you kind of have to guess a little bit. But once we start seeing, I think you really start getting creative and crafting how you're going to play it. Like you said, like if you really think, to me, it's like it's as easy as like, well, I think Mage is going to win. I think National Treasure is the second best. I think National Treasure is going to get passed by Mage late in the race. So he's going to be there. He's going to hang on. And then it's like, so then you got two of them down, right? And again, like you have to take shots. In a race like this, you have to be aggressive with it. You can't just say, well, box the 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's like, well, maybe in that case you would because of the 2. But you know what I mean? Like you actually have to be aggressive with your opinion. And, yeah, it would suck if like the 6 gets set third and you had the 5 in third instead. But at the end of the day, whatever you believe is, what you think is going to happen, press it. And in this case, I do think you can get a decent return by pressing your tries, your supers, and even the exacta.
7-1 exacta payout right now, according to Nick Sievers.
Spoiler alert. I'm going to be, if this race runs 3-1-6-5, I will be a very happy camper. We'll just put it that way, because of the amount I'm going to press through that exact order of 4 horses in the superfecta. I'll have the try I'm going to press, the exact I'm going to press. Because to me, it's like you have to, in this race, press. If you like Mage on top, you have to really be specific how you think it's going to finish, top 3, top 4, to make this a really valuable race.
By the way, you get that super home. It all comes off.
I'll tell you.
Just
3,
saying.
1, 6, 5. Ice cold, baby. Let's go.
That's fine.
I will have a day.
You know what? I might be so excited. I might just go grab the clippers right out there. I just start cutting away. Okay.
That is ridiculous, Alex. The stitches will not affect the dirt. I mean, raise your hand if you've had
for
stitches.
2 days.
Raise your hand if you've had stitches on this stream. Okay, like it doesn't bother you. It's like it's in horses. They have much tougher, thicker skin than we do. It's not like dirt being kicked up is going to bother him. And also, P.S. He might not be behind anyone. Like he might just be on the outside of National Treasure this whole race. Like I don't see a world where he's in 7th of 7 here, unless he breaks like a donkey.
When we heard about this, I text Kelly, my trainer and friend, and said, what's going on, stitches, blah blah blah. And he's like, it's really not a big deal for them at all. He's like, now, if this situation, I'm paraphrasing what he said. In this situation, if it like superficially looks bad, they may do something because they don't want that to be on TV. But he's like, as far as a horse getting banging their head on something and getting stitches, that is not something to be really concerned about, unless it is like a gash, like a serious, But we saw a picture. It's like a superficial cut. It's not gonna matter. If he loses, it's not gonna be because of that. Put it that way.
I just can't wait for him to win. We can call it the Stitches race.
Oh yeah.
But it's gonna be fine.
Oh man, I just remember almost wanting to punch Jared in the face when I heard Mage was going to scratch after his little rant yesterday about it.
Listen, okay, I jumped the gun on that. All right,
it's unbelievable.
But for a split second, I thought, goodness, like, are we really going to do this without me?
Yeah. Horses run without an eye. Like we've seen horses, So it's like it's a superficial cut. And Sylvain, you've been around horses. You could say the same. I mean, you could tell us the same stuff. It's really not that big of a deal. I mean, I don't think they are happy about it, but
yeah, they weren't hoping it would happen.
No, but it's just like it's just what it is. Because I didn't know, and I do remember Kelly had a horse, Kale's Courage, Jared, and he was a big, tall horse with he had a really long snout, and he banged his head on the top of this stall, banged his nose, and hell, you couldn't even hardly notice that he had anything. They had to point it out to me when I went and saw him one day. So it's not that big of a deal.
This sounds odd, but it's much better that it's his head, not his hoofs or legs.
Oh, 1,000%.
I mean, that is where you can actually see effect of it when they're running, and physically how it can slow them down or be a problem for them.
Yeah.
The head it's like a dog's head, man. The dogs can run their head into anything and they're fine.
I mean, I think you know, and I've said this multiple times on different shows. Is like, the one thing that when Somich made the pick for Mage in the Derby, it's like, I mean, yeah, that's a leap, but it still is like, you know what? Even if he misses the break and everything goes poorly, he shouldn't embarrass you, right? Like he's because he showed that in the Florida Derby that when he thinks it's going to go poorly, he makes a run. And yeah, I mean, you hope he wins, but obviously if he misses the break, you're not planning for him to like just zoom by the whole field and look like as good as he did. But to the point I'm making is I just feel like he gives you a run, an effort every race, and he so I'm not concerned about if he gets shuffled back a little bit further or he doesn't, at this point, it's like you feel a lot better about him. Like if he misses a break, all right, well, that, okay, he does, who cares?
Let's not forget he didn't break great in the Derby, but it was probably his second best break of his career. And oh, by the way, he ran a 48-second half mile. Yeah, he was in 16th, but he went 48 seconds based on the distance he was behind the leader. So it's not like he's a slow horse, and they're not going to go 44 and change or 45 and change. And if they do, it's great for Mage. If they don't, then he's significantly closer to the pace. So to me, that the whole argument of, well, if he doesn't break and he's way behind, it's like there's not a world where he doesn't break and he's way behind in this case. He's got enough speed and agility. Like I was impressed with how athletic this horse was, because he kept beating horses to holes in the Derby. Every single time he beat the horse that he needed to every single hole, and he was able to accelerate quicker than they were. And that to me is huge.
You just said it. That's why he won the race, or at least why he was able to do it so impressively. And it wasn't, kind of scary, so to speak, because anytime that they asked him to do something, he did it, and he just did it like that. And, and you're right. And it was a good job by Castellano to say, we need to go now. Let's beat this one. Boom, did it. Okay, here's this one. Boom, beat it. Oh, there's Angel of Empire kind of just messing around on the rail, biding his time. Boom, get by him. And the horse was able to do it. It's a two factors, right? Jockey's got to ask him, and then the horse has got to do it for him. And he did it each and every time. And you're right. He asked him to do some things where you got to be a little bit nimble, right? You can't just be a big lug and move him like that. He almost was like riding a car almost at times. That horse just responded to anything he asked. And if he does that again, it's just really hard. Even if National Treasure does get loose and this and that and the other. Guys, Mage went from first to last in the Florida Derby like that. I just think that explosive move will get him up to National Treasure, get him even, and I think he can outkick him from there.
Yeah, I mean, Christopher brings it up, right? This is the elephant in the room.
Sure.
Unless he bounces, which is, I think we'd all agree, totally possible, right? That's the biggest issue with coming back in 2 weeks. Like you talk about the curse of Apollo. To me, the bigger concern is coming back in 2 weeks because he's lightly raced, right?
Yeah.
And that was a huge effort in the Derby.
Yep.
Now, he did it all himself around the far turn. Castellan only whipped him once in the stretch. He did not go to the bottom of the barrel from an energy perspective to win that Derby, which is wild considering how good it was. But you still got to be a little concerned he's not able to run back to it, right, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely the concern. But hey, if you're 50-50 on it, that means you think he's got a 50% chance to win. And he's not even money. That's what that would equate to in the odds. He's 2-1. So from a betting standpoint, it makes sense to give him a shot if you think he's got a 50-50 shot to bounce back. And look, he has a chance to bounce. There's no question about it. All of them in some ways have a chance to bounce. It's horse racing. When they break from the gate, all of them could have a bad day. I know that maybe he's got a little bit better chance because of the 2 weeks and all that stuff, but Perform ran an awfully good race in the Tessio. Maybe he bounces today. Like you could make case. Red Rat Run was absolutely all out to win the Bathhouse Row. Maybe he doesn't run as well today. You can make cases for all of them not to run that well. So that's why I don't take too much into effect unless you've got here and it's like, wow, this is a fresh horse and he's won 4 in a row and he's really been aiming for this. Well, if he doesn't show, if Mage doesn't show up with quite his best, he's in some trouble. I just don't see that here. And that's where I just kept going back to Mage every time I tried to make a decision on this. It's just like, no, he's the horse.
Well, that's where I think this is the question, right? Does he have to run his best race to win? I would. 90% of the Derby wins this race, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Florida a repeat of the Florida Derby is better than anything anyone else has on paper, right?
Yeah.
If he runs, I'll put it this way. In my opinion, if he runs his Florida Derby race, it's a little closer than it probably should be with National Treasure, at least in my opinion. Like it's a little bit, maybe not like I'll have another getting past Bodemeister, but something like that where it's like you're like he's coming, he gets there. Like he could do that because National Treasure, as much as like visually, if you watch his replays, like he's not super exciting to look at or doesn't do whole lot. His numbers have been solid. Like it's like consistent ever since after his debut. He's ran in buyer wise 97, 95, 94, 95. That's what he ran. And I get it. Like, Cali buyers tend to be a little bit inflated sometimes, but one of those was in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile as well. You got a 95 that day where he got third to Forte and Cave Rock. Heard of them? So it's like I do think if he runs his Florida Derby race, that it'll be closer than maybe we're expecting it. Now, if he runs anywhere in the ballpark, and I'm saying you can knock off 5 buyers, 6, 7 buyers from the Derby. No, it won't be that. It won't be super close.
Yeah.
Something I got asked a ton doing stuff this week leading up to the Preakness. Right now, you can get 5-1 on Mage to win the Triple Crown. Is there value in betting Mage at 5-1 to win the Triple Crown? What do you think, Aaron?
It's a hard question because is there value? Yes, because he's not going to be 5-1 to win the Belmont. So, but you also have to look at it like this. I thought about this. We talked about it on Blinkers Off. It's like, well, that's not that bad of a price, but you also have to look at it like this. After all we've seen with this trail, horses scratching, this, that, horses getting sick, that 5-1 price that you're playing on that, also that all comes into effect, right? He's got 3 weeks to the Belmont. Can he get there healthy? Will he run in it? You think about all that stuff too. So I personally still wouldn't do it. And I've kind of been all week thinking he's going to get this one, and then I'm going to try to beat him in the Belmont anyway. So that's another reason why I wouldn't do it. But I don't think it's a good enough price. No.
So, well, how close are we to this race?
We got 9 minutes.
So we'll get to it in a second, but like one thing about it for like Truth Exposed keeps talking about Perform. Like I am struggling with Perform. I used him a little bit defensively, like underneath, but like his numbers did not come back strong at all. I mean, he's just like he was in maiden special weight 2 races ago, and so he is getting better. I also wondering back off of Lasix what that might do to him as well. I feel like Halterman, you and I talked a little bit about this on Blinkers Off. Like it feels like a little bit like that was such a visually impressive effort, just how he got traffic and he got cut off and he went flying inside, came, it was a kind of a wild stretch run that visually you want to be like, wow, that horse is getting really good and only going to get better as they go longer. I just am not sure especially off of the price. But underneath, obviously, I mean, I'm using him underneath. I think it makes a ton of sense.
I think if you go ahead, Somich, go ahead.
Is it one thing we haven't talked about either, which I know we'll talk about more when we get close to the race? I don't know how much attention you guys pay to this, but like the weights, Mage carried 126 in the Derby. He's carrying 126 today. Perform carried 118 in the Tessio. He's carrying 126 today, right? I mean, Blazing Sevens have been carrying 122, 123. Red came out one, carried 118 last time. Everyone else is taking a large jump up in weight to go into this race, except for Mage as well. First Mission was going to be one of those 118 to 126 as well. So there's a bunch of those that you have to at least factor in because 8 pounds is not insignificant going this distance.
Exactly. I mean, it's just one more factor, right? I agree. And I think, look, if you want to talk about Perform, if you want to try to get him involved instead of Red Route 1, it makes sense, right? Because he's probably going to pay better because everybody's looking at Red Route 1. And you go, I'll be the contrarian, try to go to Perform. Yeah, they're probably pretty similar horses, but it all stops with Mage. It's just like he can't rise to that level. In my opinion, if you're going to play against Mage, I'd throw him out of everything because I think if he loses, he's off the board. I think if he loses, he just didn't show up. And so you're better off just playing low amounts on an exacta, try whatever on some other horses. And just really, even you could box it if you're not using Mage and just hope you get lucky. I mean, that's the play to me. Because you guys have, I mean, we've talked it in circles. He has 2 efforts better than anybody else in the race, and so they've all got to come get him if he shows up with the Florida Derby effort, the Kentucky Derby effort, or something in between. All the other horses are going to have to rise.
Yeah, it's going to take. That's the other thing too about it. Like I say, it'll be closer, but it also means if he doesn't fire, it also means it's going to take someone else to fire, and National Treasure to run every bit as good as he's been running. Because honestly, ever since these last 2 races are good enough to win for Mage, and there's just a lot in here that I don't know. 5 and the Perform and Red Route 1 to me just seem like I think they're gonna be too far back to win. That's a key thing, and 2, their numbers don't support the ability to improve this much to win this race.
I think Perform will be a lot closer than you think. I think that last race is a real anomaly because of the break. If you go back and you watch the break, he stumbled pretty badly. And from a numbers perspective, the Tessio comes back slower because of the stumble and the trouble. I agree with you. I think Perform is. I don't think Red Route 1 has a chance in hell to win this race because he's going to be way too far back, and you just need a wild jump up for absolutely no reason. I could see Perform doing it if it's someone really kooky, but I think it's a very, very low probability it happens.
Yeah, and that's another interesting part about the race. I felt like is there, the new shooters, so to speak. Is everyone is, I mean, other than the cheap. Okay, the 4 right is cheap speed, but I mean everyone else is a horse that Blazing Sevens, for instance. It's not like my point is it's not like you have a horse in here that's a new shooter maybe isn't that good. It could benefit from being on the lead. They could kind of steal the race, so to speak. No, Blazing Seven's going to have to come flying out. Is going to have to run a huge race. Red Route 1, like you said, is going to have to run a huge race. Perform even have to run a huge race. So that's kind of why it makes sense, in my opinion, to the 3-1 on top, right? In those top 2 spots, because it just seems unfeasible for one of those horses to not only run a race they haven't ran yet, but also have to come from out of it to do it.
And real quick, Vicky asks, if you had $1, what's the best way to maximize the bet on Mage? We got 4 minutes to post. We got to jump into the other race real quick. It's the 3-1 cold exacta if it's paying $7. Because because then you are not risking whether or not the 6 runs, whether or not the 5 runs. It's the 2 horses where you know exactly what they're going to do, and it's 7-1 is a wild price. I think that should be 4 or 5-1, considering who is out of this race now. So that to me, that the 3-1 exact would be the one way to play $1 if it's paying that 7-1, because that seems like a crazy price there. All right, let's jump over here. We've got about 4 minutes to post from the race right before the Preakness here, the 12th race. We're going a mile on the turf course here in the James Murphy. Magic, we'll kick it off with you. Favorites on the outside here. You've got Nagarok. Is this a horse that's just too tough here? We watched that Transylvania back. I know Chris mentioned it. He looked awesome in that race. Yes, we were looking at it because of the trip trouble for the 8, but he was 3 wide on both turns and still almost caught Mustache and held off Webslinger, who ran back to win on Derby Day. So what do you think of the 9 here? Is it a solid favorite?
Solid favorite, yeah. I think 6-5 is the right price. They don't go any lower playing this horse. If you want to play an exacta, I like the 9-8 exacta here. I think the 8 is a 7-1 on the morning. Let me pull up. 9-8 is paying 12-1 right now. I think that's a great job, or great odds. Fantastic again. I don't think that if he gets headed, he's going to have any kind of a fight because he hasn't really shown it in his races before. And there's enough speed in here on paper. You would think that he's not going to have just an easy go out there and do what he wants kind of a lead. I'll go with the 9-8 here. I think it's a fair price. And if you want to get kooky, I know that the 6 is 8-1. They got hammered way down, but in the exotics, I would expect that he's going to be closer to 20-1 than 8-1. So I would go 9-8-1 for my trifecta here.
9-8-1 for your trifecta?
I'm sorry. Thank you. 9-8-6. 9-8-6.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea. I think the 9 over the 8-6, 8-6 is a decent price right now. I'd play back with a little bit 8 over 9-6, 9-6, but I think those are the three that you want to be focusing on. I do think if you're looking for a price, both of the makers have a chance at hitting the board at a number here, the 2 and the 4. The 2 horse coming out of sprint races gets to stretch out here. Fade the Noise should get a pretty good trip. And Top Recruit, Mendelsohn, first time trying the turf, I think makes a little bit of sense as well. The pace is going to be what really defines this race here. The 1, the 3, and the 4 all want to go early, Jared. Who do you think makes the lead here, and where are you going on top as we get a minute to post?
I mean, you got to think. I have a sneaky suspicion that the I don't know if it's sneaky suspicion, but that the 1 is going to go in the lead, right? It's just because I mean, this is a horse that's been going on synthetics, gets back to turf. This horse is draws the rail. Johnny V obviously is riding great, rides great on the front end. So I think the 1 has got a chance to try to take this thing gate to wire. He's kind of been used to that the last couple of starts. Listen, I think the 8, I like the 8 here. The 7-1 is just, it's floating the other direction, which is kind of wild to me. I think there's some real opportunity here as well. I know kind of missed on the last one as far as the doubles, but if you want to play, other than the 9, playing a double into Mage, makes a lot of sense here. The 8-3 double, or even the 6-3 pays really nice, in the doubles. I think there's some opportunity there. I'm playing an 8 over 9, and I'm playing an 8 over 6. Exacta, just kind of gauging that. I'm playing a little bit higher with the 8 over 9. But yeah, I think the 8-9, it's going to pay more than the 9-8. So that's where I'm at.
That is correct. It will pay more if the favorite does not win. Aaron, we are 0 minutes to post here, getting ready to go on to the turf course. Final thoughts here on whatever the heck this race is called.
Yeah, listen, I like the 1 and I like the 9, so I'm sure I'll run 1-3 or something like that. But I do like the 1. And I'm with Jared. I think the 1's going to get the lead, and I think this horse can take him a long ways. I just think this 9 is coming into the race in a perfect spot here. I would be very disappointed if the 9 didn't fire pretty huge. I like this horse quite a bit, but I do think the 1 gets a little bit brave out on the lead. The way I kind of see it playing out is we're getting towards the wire. The 1's in front, the 9's coming to get it.
Yeah, official post time on the Preakness here, KC, 7:01 Eastern. So about an hour and 9 minutes away from post time. And we will be here live, taking you right up to it, talking all about these different permutations and arguing about, well, think about that. We're 70 minutes away from the race. We got 7 horses. We can go 10 minutes a horse, and we still will not be post time.
I call it not number 2.
Yeah. I'm gonna take an hour-long number 2 if that's how much time I have left, please.
I got good news / bad news, Jared. The 6 just got best turned out.
Oh boy. Well, you know what Magic says. Like if the best turned out, you got to bet it. So.
I think Tis the Magician got best turned out, I think 3 or 4 times, and he didn't win a single one of those races.
Things didn't turn out well.
We are floating up a little bit with 6 to 9-1. Maybe we can go off at like 9 or 10, 11-1 or something like that. But still, even money on the 9. And I mean, I get it. It's tough to play that horse when I like a few others in here. But I do think the 9 is pretty damn good.
I mean, I like the 9-8 double. I mean, or exacta. I'm sorry, I played some of the 9-8 exacta here. I played some 9 over 8-6, like I said. I mean, $11 seems about right on the 9-8, who I think are probably the 2 best horses. The 1 is the other one that I think you got to consider. Magic. We talked a little about Fantastic again. He struggles when he doesn't get loose, and that's really the key: is can he get loose? And I'm not sure he gets loose in this field. I think he takes pressure the whole time.
Well, I thought that last race with the John Velasquez horse, I was like, I don't think he's going to get an easy lead. But shit, he had an easy lead and he walked home. So who knows? Well,
that's fair.
The problem is we're relying on these little tiny knuckleheads on top of the horses to do what we think they're going to do. So apparently they have minds of their own. I don't know if you knew this. Jockeys do have minds of their own.
You mean they're
we
not?
Go to robot jockeys and robot umps, right?
Yeah.
Let's just put AI jockeys on. That's what I want.
I am kicking myself a little bit for I am like personally gonna play a little bit more than I think the 9-8 makes sense. I played 8-9 straight in the Bible. But the 11-1 makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's more than fair. Off the 2 horses, I think are my top 2 horses in the race.
We are walking up the gate. I'm telling you, fantastic again. This is a good-looking turf course. We've shat on turf courses pretty aggressively over the last 4 or 5 live shows. This is a good-looking, lush green turf course. You got to give props to Pimlico here. That thing's looking good.
Well, when you run on it 2 weeks out of the damn year, and you
Magic,
don't take care of your infield or your porta potty system.
We were being nice, Magic. By the way, the elevator doesn't work in the building either. So
yeah,
everyone's
I saw that.
having
They're
to take a lift to the press box.
Yeah.
If you've never been to Pimlico, it is a special racetrack. Like, I was there for the Justify year. They had kiddie pools. Like, and I'm on the finish line. So this is the nice area of the grandstand. They had kiddie pools back there because there was rain coming in through the roof at Pimlico on Preakness Day.
Wow.
It's the nostalgia. Okay.
A bunch of multis. I got a bunch of multis alive to 1, 3, 8, 9. Not so much the 1, but definitely through 3, 8, 9 here. So the way that my betting's been going, it's probably going to be the 4 that wins this race.
We've got most of them in line here. Now even money on the 9. It's a little short for a win bet, but some of the exotics are still paying okay if you want to team them up in exactas or trifectas. But even money on the outside here. See if we get a second favorite home. 0 minutes to post here in the... I should remember what the name of these races are. James Murphy, right? That's right. Yeah, James Murphy.
This is the Murphy. We had the Jim McKay, and now we have the James Murphy.
Yeah, whatever they're called. It's a turf race before the Preakness.
There you go.
They're off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the 4 is not going to go to the lead because Rosario. Is the 9 going to lead?
No, the 9's wants position.
Okay,
now he
there we
tucked.
go.
He just looked back. You could see that look back.
Yeah.
Smart ride there.
Smart move, Pratt. Okay, 4 wide going into the first turn. Good job, Rosario. Good job.
And fantastic again. I mean,
Four
Velasquez uses that rail pretty good there to be able to hold off the other 3 speeds. But Nagnarok got a great spot there. They got to be going pretty quick here. Yeah, 22 and 2. They're flying.
And the 9 is on the muscle. He wants to go.
I mean, this sets up beautifully for the 6 and the 8 who are coming from the back of the pack here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're going to slow this down though. I expect we're going to see 46 and 3 somewhere in there, 46 and 4 for the half.
Yeah, the 1.
Are we going to see it? There it is. 46.
Boy, they look like they're loping compared to what they were, you know?
It really makes it. The first half mile, the quarter mile was flying. Nagnarok's still loaded in the pocket too.
Oh, yeah, he looks like $1 million.
If he can get between the 2 and the... Yep, he's inside the 2. He's got room. He's gone.
He's going to be tough. He's going to be awfully tough. We'll see if anyone can.
Jeez, look at him go.
The 6.
Get on yourself, 9 horse. Let's go. Woo.
6 is finding new ways to get into trouble again. This is no one's
Screw around and hold on.
No one's making any move.
Hold on for a second,
Aaron.
please.
That's
please,
not
Aaron.
Oh no.
Here comes the 5.
No, you got it. 9,
Hold on,
1, 5.
There you go.
Yes.
Good job, Aaron.
Damn it! That should be 2 in a row. God.
$9 exacta there.
What is it?
$9.
All right. So it's a good way to make $70. That's not bad.
That 9 was very good.
That dude, you talk about that was a wild race because we sat there and said, "Oh, this is really going to set up for the 8 and the 6." No one made any move at all. Like you kept watching like the left side of the screen to see if a horse starts popping. You never saw one. They just ran away with it.
The ride there from Pratt. I mean, we all talked about it. Like, is he going to go? Is he going to go? And he tucked right in behind those 4 horses and got the rail out of the 9 post. The hold that he had on that horse was phenomenal. They were going fast, but he was going easy doing it. And he exploded once he got into that lane. That was a very impressive race from the 9. A really heady ride from Pratt to not get stuck 5 wide, but still get the position he wanted.
23 and 1 for the final 2 furlongs for Najarok, and he was walking, it looked like.
Yeah,
I can't believe the 1 held on for second. That's crazy.
That 5, hey, listen, that 5 definitely moved up on turf. That's the best that 5 has looked his whole career.
Yeah.
He got up for 3rd.
His career's not circling the drain anymore.
Oh. What's up, Doc?
What's up, guys? How are you? Good afternoon. Good
Glad
evening.
you finally showed up.
Yeah,
no, it's been a rough.
We'll talk about it after the show.
Huh?
We're just razzing you.
Oh.
We do want to know, now that you're here, why are you mad at Papa Dude?
Yeah,
I'm not
seriously.
mad
You
at
said you're
Papa
not texting him.
Yeah,
I
he said.
know. I texted him this morning. He texted. He said, "Why am I ignoring him?" I texted him. I said, "I apologize. It's just been." I texted him the best bet today, though. So I'll text him tomorrow. I'll text him the next 5 days. Don't worry. I'll make it up to him.
He's very upset.
I know he is. I know he's sensitive.
Oh, man. Man. Well, you came to some time. We got an hour and 5 minutes to kill. What do you want to talk about?
Not
I'm
much.
gonna get a beer.
Go ahead. I'm just glad we focus on this track just twice a year.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. We were talking about the camera angles earlier. That's kind of one of the most frustrating things for me, especially on the dirt. I don't know where they're at. All the time I'm just like, what is going on?
Is this better or Kentucky Downs better? I can't really tell anymore in terms of the camera angle.
This is better, but it's not by much.
Yeah.
And then they went to the jock cam. I almost threw up because it caused me seasickness for like 5 seconds. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Anyways, not going to complain.
Yeah, those in-race jock cams are awful. Just
It's
don't
like
do
Blair
that.
Witch Project.
Don't do that. It's not needed.
Yeah, it's like Blair Witch. I'm going. And it's like I don't need like virtual reality on Jockey on how Pratt's feeling on a horse. Give me a break. God.
Well, I think it's just, I don't think the horse, like the people that are broadcasting understand, like 99% of the people watching, they just want to watch to see if their bet wins. So
Right.
they want to see the race. Just give me the best view
focus
of
on
the
their
race.
horse. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we can show the jocks cam after the race is done and see if it's a great trip or whatever. Fine. But
Put it on NBC.
True.
Like, my mom would love that shit watching on NBC. She's not watching the track feed.
Mm-mm-mm.
so
That
how's
9 was
everybody's day? It's been kind of.
What's going on in the NHL?
Nothing till
Sylvain
5.
says they're in overtime.
No, I think he's talking about
Oh.
the 2 overtime games so far.
The game hasn't started yet.
Yeah, it's tonight.
I say, wait a minute, that started
Doc
early.
bet it.
Okay.
I can tell Doc's bet it because you know it hasn't started yet.
Did you bet it, Doc?
I did not bet it yet, but I guess I don't know how to bet hockey. Just follow what you guys do and just keep on betting the plus money dog. I've been making money off of that.
That's what you do.
Yeah,
Take Florida.
Under
Panthers.
first period, Florida if they're plus money.
Yep, that's what I'll do.
Yep.
You turned me into a hockey fan.
No, we're gonna change that. I thought we have changed that. I thought you.
Yeah, that's you turned me into a hockey fan.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah. I'm just hoping. I need the Lakers to make it to Game 6 because then I might get tickets. And I said, Mike, if you wanted to come down or Magic to watch the game, I may have tickets. We'll see.
Wow.
I'm
The
probably not
only
coming
Laker
back.
game I've been to, it was Christmas Day, Kobe's last year, and that they lost, but it was a fantastic atmosphere because the Lakers sucked, and then the fourth quarter, it was like Kobe's last Christmas game, and they put him in, and he just started going 3, 3, 3, 3, and they actually made it close, but it was so exciting because everybody in that arena thought that they were going to pull off the win. He was awesome.
We got a request to talk about the Churchill Downs Stakes race for 3 minutes to post. You want to do that, Aaron?
I could do that. I think that sounds really good.
All right, you jump. I'll start.
By the way,
tapping it
first
real quick.
click 2-1 on Mage right now.
Well, we're talking about Churchill Downs right now, though, Magic. So
He's running a Churchill Downs Magic.
He's running at both places at
Fucking
once. That's
Churchill
a
Downs.
star horse.
What race number? 10?
Number 11,
So
the
it's-
Louisville Stakes.
Yeah.
They put this
Look,
one last?
Ooh, this
This
is a
is a
race.
crazy race. I don't know what they were doing with the morning line odds. It was really strange.
Yeah.
I'm on limited liability. The horse was 8-1 morning line, now 7-2. That's pretty much what I thought, though. I thought this was really strange. I really liked the 3 a little bit at a huge price. That one didn't get bet down, 33-1. I thought the 3 could hit the board in this spot. So I liked the 1. I thought the 9 made sense, and I like the 3 for a long shot in here. This is a pretty good betting race because you do have Tiz the Bomb in it, and he's taking a little bit of money again, 6-1.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, he still sucks.
Yeah, I mean, He's not taking that 2-1 money anymore, but still at 6-1, he's taking some.
Those were the days, man. Those were the days. Doc, did you take a look at this race at all?
I'm allowed to the pick 5.
No, of course. There you go. Who you got?
I got the 1 and the 7.
Okay.
I'm a little bit of a therapist fan here as well. 4-1. 5-2 off the morning line floats up to 4-1. Ran really well last time at Gulfstream. Gulfstream to Churchill hasn't been wonderful though, has it?
No, that's the problem.
You know, on Therapist, I was listening to Maggie Wolfendale yesterday morning. She was on the Belmont on the television feed, America's Day of the Races, and they were talking about that horse. And of course, that was a New York horse for a long time with Christophe Clement, and they were talking about how shocked they were that that horse could go that far like he did last time out and win. They're like, I guess Clement had said, I just can't believe the horse went over a mile and won. So yeah, Maker, man, he can get them to turf route better than anybody. I don't know how he does it, but
all right, give me the 9, another mystery at 4-1.
Yeah, that's the other one I was looking at.
This is a pretty decent drop in class here.
Yeah.
You just grazed over my comment. That's rude.
Well, I tried to say it. They're loading you to the gate. Yes, Mike Maker is very good at getting horses going longer than anyone ever thought they could. You were correct. Excellent comment, Aaron. Sometimes you make a little bit of sense.
Thank you.
Damn. Oh.
Did I really? I didn't say sometimes. I said I think you make a little bit of sense. It was just like it wasn't a knock.
The 5 at 11-1 is a little bit of a sneaky price too.
English Conqueror. Yeah.
But I don't like Le Paru on long races.
Yeah, we know you're a leopard. You don't like those Frenchmen.
Not at all. I'm just kidding. I like Pratt.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, second off the layup for English Conqueror, 12-1, nice price. Should be. I mean, the thing is like runs his best race when he's forwardly placed, but he's not very fast.
No. And
right, Tiz the Bomb probably makes the lead in here.
Yes, that's what I predicted too. Tiz the Bomb makes the lead here.
Maybe Mount Randall, the 3-horse. Therapist going to be close behind.
I got news for you. Tiz the Bomb didn't make the lead in this race.
Nope.
The 6
5?
did.
Yep.
6
Time for Trouble did for Hiles.
Huh.
6 is 6 thinks they're going to the wire the first time, not the second.
The 5's right behind there.
Well, I'll tell you when the time for trouble's coming. Right around the 3rd turn. That's when the time for trouble's coming.
Exactly. So what do we hear?
Wow. The Rapist floated up to 9-2. Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow. Limited liability is a favorite.
Shit. What have I told you, Magic?
I'm glad.
Make sure my mic is on.
You can show up high for work, just don't be on air saying things like that.
I'm glad that Churchill is able to time a race.
32-1.
32 for a quarter?
32-1.
It's
Don't
okay.
worry,
they went 20-1 from
quarter.
to the half.
Oh God.
Oh, good job, Churchill. But how's that paddock?
Looks great. So what do we hear?
English Conqueror actually sitting in a good spot here. I mean, 119. I have no clue if these are anywhere near correct. So that like
the 5 is.
Yeah, did they go 27?
I know they're wrong. So, okay.
I didn't use. I mean,
I'll debate you. I think they're correct.
You make no sense, Aaron.
the 7's sitting a good trip if good enough, but.
Here we go around the far turn. Now we're headed into the far turn. Time for Trouble still in lead. English Conqueror still sitting in second. Therapist coming out on the outside in 3rd. Who's that circling?
Is that limited liability?
Who's the 10? Foreign Relations making a nice move. The 3 following it going way wide. Here comes another mystery. Tiz the Bomb sitting behind a wall of horses. And limited liability splits and gets first run now. But this 10 got the jump on him, man. Foreign Conqueror looking good. Foreign Relations looking good.
Here comes that 3. Get up for 2nd or 3rd. 3.
Foreign Relations.
Mike gets 6th, Aaron.
10-1
gets 6th.
Limited liability 2nd. Yeah.
I don't think you can say he ran well because he lost to Tiz the Bomb.
Oh, well, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
But he was 24-1 and Tiz the Bomb was 6-1. So
that's fair.
You guys want to do Belmont? There's like 5 horses and it's pouring down rain. No.
I know I don't. All right, let's pull up Pimlico. We got
we could do that too.
You know, we could talk about the Preakness. It's only 52 minutes away. I mean, I we got to start with the odds here. The longest price on the board is 8-1. Like, what the? Let's see how much money we've got bet into this pool at this point, and see if we've started to see any type of changes here, because it is starting
There's
to look
over
like you're
8
going to be
million
able
in
to
the
get.
pool.
Still 2-1.
Yeah, 8 million. So we have about 33% of the total pool.
This is wild. This is wild, man.
Guys, Doc, I'll ask you, because people watching have heard us just be like, what the hell's going on? What are your thoughts on these odds right now in the Preakness?
I mean, I think it's the rich strike effect. I mean, these odds are I mean, how is the 4 8-1?
I know.
It's unbelievable. That's the longest price is 8 the 2 is 7-1. I mean, that makes no sense.
Off a 50-1 morning line.
Yeah, this makes no sense. This is like,
I mean, the 7-1 on the 3-1 is the exacta is still holding up.
yeah, well, they're literally chasing the chaos. Because that's not gonna. There's not gonna be any chaos here. It looks. I mean, you can take 7-1 on the 2 all day. I'll book you guys. Who want? I'll book you 7. I'll give you 15-1 on the 2.
Oh, look at the doubles.
Yeah.
The double to the 2 with the 9 last race was even money. Is $289 for a buck.
That's what I'm saying.
289-1.
Yeah, but you're betting it at 7-1 now.
Yeah, John White texted. He's like, that. This is the craziest thing. Is like, I would book $3 million to this 2 or this 3 or to the 2 or the 4. You know, it's like this is the under. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just almost unfathomable that you're seeing those 2 prices on those 2 horses, and you're seeing 2-1 on Mage. Like, if Mage was still getting bet, and you're like, okay, they're not betting whatever, a couple of the other horses, National Treasure and Blazing Sevens, that's one thing. But the fact that Mage's money is the one that's being taken away from, because National Treasure 5-2, that's the adjusted morning line. Like Blazing Sevens 4-1, that's just one click down from it. Like, it's the Mage win money that's not coming.
The 3-1 exacta is paying 7-1.
Yep.
Correct.
I mean, that's the same price as Chase the Chaos winning, by the way. I mean, that makes no sense.
Well, the 1-3 exact is 8-1.
Yeah.
There's
Which
coffee
also
with
doesn't make
Chris's
sense.
money.
Like, it shouldn't be $1 more. It should be what, 6 and 10, like something like that. But 7 and 8 from the win, like, I guess with the win odds at 2-1 and 5-2, it does make sense. But with what you'd expect the win odds to be, it's illogical.
If you're calculating it, yeah, correct. It's amazing.
I mean,
Doc, are you still in the Preakness tournament?
No.
I'm shoving a trifecta for $700.
cold.
Cold.
Ice cold, baby.
3-1.
I guess I could play
6?
2. How much do you think it's going to take to get to 6, Doc?
How much is? Let me take a look right now. 6 is 4,000. I thought you would need 5,000 probably.
700 times 7 is
4,900. That'll get you there.
I could push the exacta and maybe get there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you need to put the. I think 5,000 gets you there.
So 316. I would be 316 or 315. I 316 is probably the cold trifecta if I was going to push one, Joey.
How much does that pay? 316.
19-1, or I'm sorry, 38-1.
Oh, really?
You think?
That's Nick. Nick, what are you using? Are you using?
Yeah, how does he know that?
Spires? You can get he gets will pays for the tries early. One of the AEWs has
he
it.
uses.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, I did not realize.
How do you get the tries? That would be
Express bet.
Express bet. Where is it on Express?
Where
Bet?
is it though? You can't find it.
He knew the tries
Yeah.
other races earlier than anybody else.
Yeah, no, I believe that he actually is doing it. I just don't know where to find it on Express Bet.
I believe he is either. He is as well. I mean,
That or he's a try whisperer with just the prices
exactly.
that he comes up with.
what he's
All right, well, Nick gets back to that to us. I mean, it's
Under
probable.
probables.
Really? Okay.
All right.
I trust you.
on Express bet. I've never even been on
Let's
Express
get-
bet.
Someone figure it out and let's list some of those out. I'm interested in what they
Yeah,
are.
let me get on my Express bet then. Oh god.
I can pull it up. All right, someone else talk.
All right.
Good job, guys.
Magic.
Magic usually chimes in.
Matt-
usually.
There.
I'm here. I'm listening. Every time I talk, I get talked over. So piss on it. I'm not talking.
Wow. Wow.
You're kind of acting like Shaq.
Passive
It's supposed to
aggressive.
be 1, 2, 3, not 3, 2 back to 1 or whatever he said.
That was aggressive. It wasn't even passive aggressive.
Yeah.
I was like, why? I don't know. No need for it is what I'm thinking. No need for it, Magic.
No, not at all.
We're all in a good place right now, and you just
Everybody just is. Everybody on our stream, not everybody, but the people are commenting. They just can't believe it, and we're right there with you. We can't either. Joey says 2-1 on Mage. We're losing it at our Preakness party over that.
Oh, I found it. I found the trifectas.
ooh.
Oh,
Do
but
tell.
this is weird though.
It's under odds board, right?
No, yeah, it's under odds. You go to probables, but then you know how the grid is one. You know the exactas, so then you have to. How does this work? Oh, so it's 1 by 2 by 3, like that.
Oh, I see. Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah,
cool.
I got it.
Got it.
Weird.
So the 137 is actually the current favorite in the exacta, or in the trifecta.
Yes, you're right. The 137. It pays $11 for 50 cents. It looks. Is this 50 cents?
No, I guess the 317 is the favorite right now.
So confused.
God, there's a lot of information here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like a
Is it for $1 or 50 cents?
50 cents.
50 cents.
Okay.
It's a 7 by 7 grid with a number on top. So it's
Yeah.
kind of.
I love this is good content. You guys trying to explain this.
It's not wonderful
I have no
content.
idea what they're saying.
It was like you're trying to explain something to like your parents, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
where
Any
it's
place
like,
for the
oh,
hockey game
yeah.
tonight? I played first period under goal and a half. I think that they're gonna not score a bunch of goals early here, specifically because they're gonna be a little bit tired, and I think it's gonna be under series all the way. Aaron, I think you're in the same boat, right?
Yeah, give me the under that goal and a half. And also, I'm going to take the Florida Panthers plus the money because they never lose when they're plus money. Also, Jason, if you're going to bet this game live, watch for puck possession. That's the big key to this series. Any game you're going to bet live, the puck possession is going to tell you the game. Carolina wants to keep the puck. They did a good job doing it in game 1. They still got beat. They're probably going to win their fair share of games in the series if they can keep possession of the puck like they did. So watch that the first 10 minutes, see how the game's flowing, and then you're going to know. Because if Florida has the puck a lot, it's over. Florida's going to dominate the game.
What does the 3-1-5 pay?
$14.50 for 50 cents.
50, yeah.
Jeez.
I was literally just looking at those combinations too to figure out how much to bet on each one if I want to.
That's
14. So you're getting
That's
3-1.
good.
The 3-1-5 actually says. Oh, I didn't. It said
28 to 1 on that try.
It said it was 19. I had to refresh it. I guess it doesn't refresh on its own.
317 is 19. Or 316, I'm sorry, is 19. 315 is 14.50.
14. Yeah.
What's
So-
3-1-6?
1910.
19.
So that's for 50 cents. So that's 40 to 1.
Yeah.
$40.
That's not bad. Why are people betting 7 to 1 on the two? That's unbelievable.
This is wild. I feel like we're missing something here.
We're not missing something. It's everybody else that's missing
I
something.
mean, that's true. Like we could be looking at like after. I mean, this could be the opportunity. One of the better opportunities we've had in a long time.
Again, I don't think we can stress this enough. The double to the 3 is paying $9 for $2. The double to the 2 is paying $579 for $2.
But yet they're
And they are 2 to 1 and 7 to 1.
Yeah. It's just, I don't get it. It's crazy. I'm blown away. Because honestly, like Jared, I'll kick it to you because we talked about this a lot leading up to this thing. We were sitting here going, God, I don't even know if a try is going to pay enough in this race. We're talking about after first mission scratch. I don't know what these exactas. I don't think they're going to pay enough. They're paying astronomical.
That's just it. Like that's why I'm like, you know, and granted, it's easy to do now. Like we're gonna make bets, but when you're putting these in, like you never fathom that exact is even worth a play here. You know, but gosh, it's insane. It totally is. Not to mention a try, which I think is
Gotta play it.
I think the try is doable. I think the super is doable. I mean, really, like if you want to go there, like I just think it's not out of question to hit this thing. And when you think of it that way and think, oh, it's also going to pay. What's the super going to pay, Somich? 80 to 1. I mean, if it's logic, like the logical horses we like are talking about here, 80 to 1, 60 to 1.
Yeah,
100 to 1.
I mean, if it's 40 to 1 for the trifecta and you're running Blazing Sevens out, it's going to pay at least triple that. 120 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Joey asks a good question. He's like, "Are we sure National Treasure gets second though?" At these prices, you don't really have to single him out in second. Like Somich is talking about doing it because he's got to make up money for a live bankroll tournament. If you're sitting here playing this race, you don't necessarily have to just play one horse in second. You can just put Mage in first, and you can use a couple in both those second and third place spots because the payouts are paying a lot more than what any of us really projected. So Joey, no, I am not sure at all he's going to get second. I'm not as high on him as Somich is. However, you don't have to do it. You don't have to get that aggressive like we all really thought you would have to in this race.
Yeah, you could easily play a 3 with 1-6 with 1-6.
Yeah.
If those are two you liked, and you're still getting. I mean, the worst way it's going to pay is 40 to 1.
Yep.
The worst way, not the better. Like if it finishes 3-6-1, it's paying more than 3-1-6.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're talking all this, and Mage comes out of the gate and he doesn't win. None of it's going to matter. But the point of what we're talking about right now is these are payouts that just shouldn't be. Even if you hate Mage, these are payouts that just shouldn't be. Period.
I would tell people this, and I think listen to me very seriously here. If you don't like Mage at all, if you're against him, you think the turnaround is too much, play something with him on top. Play something because normal situations I would understand why, right? You're not gonna mess with it. He's the favorite. It's not gonna pay anything anyways. You're against him, but in this case, there is opportunity, and he is the best horse in the race. So it's like you might as well, even if you are against him, play a little saver there. Play whether it be a cold try or a cold exacta, play it for something just with him on top. Don't let Mage winning be the reason you didn't cash.
Yep. Well, that was like Flightline. If you did a Flightline exacta or trifecta, you would have made, was it 50 to 1 on the try?
Mm-hmm.
The try it made 80 to 1, Doc. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know we would have won that. I mean, anyways, it's not.
The 3-5-6 try is paying 90 to 1.
Sorry.
3, 5, 6.
That's crazy.
And that's essentially running National Treasure out of it and trying to get the two other logical horses we've talked about.
Yeah, and you're going to blow that up.
I mean, let's just take a step back.
Okay.
Chuck the 2 and the 4. Okay. Now it's a 5-horse field, right?
Yeah.
And now just figure out how to build from there.
Yeah.
If you put Mage on top, now you have 4 horses you need to put in the other 4 spots.
Yeah.
Right. And so you just say, okay, who can I get rid of? Do I not like Red Route 1? Is it going to be too far back? Do I think National Treasure is going to miss the board? Is it, I don't like Blazing Sevens. All of a sudden, if you throw one of those 4 out, you're left with 4 horses. There's your super.
Right.
Like it's the way this sets up makes it very easy to attack it from a very linear perspective and decide this is exactly the way I want to bet it, because you have 2 horses I don't think have a prayer. And then you have 1 horse that's easy to put on top. That just leaves those other chunk of 4 for 3 spots. It's just figuring out how they fall in there.
Yeah, and even further that, in my opinion, it's like, okay, you mentioned there's 5 horses that have a shot. You got to have 4 for the super. Taking a stand against the 7, I'm fine with that. If the 7 beats me, he beats me. Past that, I think the only 2 horses that can logically win the race, in my opinion, is the 1 and the 3. Mm-hmm. So now I've got the first spot taken care of. I've got 1 horse thrown out, right? So it's really like you're saying, Somich. I mean, yeah, it's an opinion. It's handicapping. I could be wrong, but at least based off of my opinion, I can very easily come up with a super that is going to pay well based off of my opinion, and really only needing to, the 7 could throw a wrench in that super, no doubt about it. But I'm taking a shot against him.
We've got a little over 9 million in the win pool. No adjustment on the odds. The 3-1 exacta down to $6 now, but still holding pretty firm. 5 million into that pool already.
Well, and as we good lead in here, Somich, because as we keep talking about all this, we've ignored the win pool for a while, and you just laid it out. There's no change, and so even if you're like, guys, I hate exotics, I can't do it. You're getting 2 to 1 on him still. Like, so just bet a win, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Right. It's like, if you're sitting there right now and you're like, I love Mage, but I'm just worried that something goofy might happen underneath. forget about it and just bet that win on him. I never thought we could say any of this that we're saying right now yesterday, right? I just wouldn't think any odds would make sense other than we have got to pound it. We got to go straight. We got to pound it. We got to be spot on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be right now.
Can't
It's
believe
crazy.
it's 2-1.
I mean, 2-1 is still wild to me. We'll see. We're 37 minutes from post. Obviously, the odds could change. We're still expecting we're now at 33% of the win pool, so we're still expecting the other 66% of the money, but still holding pretty firm. And this would be the largest variance from the doubles to the win-off odds that I've ever seen in my life if this holds at where it is, and we're 37 minutes from post.
Somich, would it be even close?
No. according to the doubles,
Mhm.
according to the doubles, Mage should go off at even money, and the 2-horse should go off at 148 to 1.
Yep.
148 to 1, and he is currently 8 to 1 on the board. 140 clicks off of what would be fair value in the double pool.
And again, folks, if you're listening, that's not an opinion. That is like numbers. That's just mathematics that he's giving you out.
It's also like I don't. There's no one in this feed that looks at more numbers than Somich and knows all this. And like for him to in every race and every day, and for him to sit there and say this isn't even close, is kind of wild. I mean, this is a Preakness.
But the only horse that is actually close is National Treasure, who should be 5-2 according to double pools.
Yep.
Every other horse is off. I mean, I guess Red Route 1 is pretty close. He should be 7-1 and is 7-1 right now. The 6 is pretty close, 7-1 and 7-1. The 8's a little bit high, but I mean, it's really it's the 2 and the 4 should be wildly higher, and the 3 should be wildly lower. So all the win money coming in on long shots is not coming in on the favorite, and that's what's creating the variance.
I mean, Joey,
$100 on Mage to win is a great bet. I'll say it.
Well, listen, here's the deal.
If you can afford
Yeah.
it, don't break your
within your bankroll, and it's not going to hurt you if you lose it or whatever.
Right.
And he stays at 2-1. Even if he loses, you could sleep at night knowing you made a good bet. It doesn't mean he's a lock to win. It just means based on the odds, it's almost ridiculous not to do it.
Based on the odds, the win bet is like the best play that you can play here, just based off of those odds we have right now. Because 2-1 is nuts.
It took me threatening him to block him from the chat, but Nick Sievers is on the live stream with us.
Nick's
the one that's been feeding us.
You guys just got uglier. It's very sad.
Oh man!
What's crazy is that the future pools you thought were great value, right? Like you got 6-1 on first mission, and now it's like no, Mage. Just wait for the win pool and bet 2-1. Like it's wild.
It's crazy. We're in a world where it's wait for the win pool.
Yep.
That's never been been a thing. Usually you get these favorites getting hammered out of those, especially out of the Derby, and you're going to see like, I don't know. I saw people saying it was going to be 2-5 today. And we're sitting at 2-1.
Most of the people in our live chats the last 3 days that are with us every day, we have shows, have said 2-5, 3-5, and that's the people that follow racing day in, day out, and that is every one of them say, oh yeah, he's 2-5, 3-5, races ruined. 2-1. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Be back in a minute. I got to pick up a package.
Yeah, I don't know a single person who would have told you the 2 and the 4 would be under 10-1. Not a single person.
Yeah. I know.
It feels like we're like at in the 80s when they didn't have, they didn't actually simulcast them. You were just betting against the dummies that were sitting in at like Santa Anita. Like there's $800 in the pool and they're all really drunk. And like, I'm going to bet on this guy. But like, not the Preakness with millions of dollars in the pool. Like, what is going on? Like, could this be every day? Like, how great would it be if this was every day?
Oh, yeah. If you get the situation every race, I mean, it would be fantastic. We're now at 10 million, almost 10 million, 9.5.
Okay, so there's currently $907,000 bet to win on Perform, There's currently $850,000 bet to win on Chase the Chaos. Like what?
Listen, if Mage doesn't come through, I said it earlier this week. It's like it's so disappointing for fans, right? Because you want to see the Triple Crown. No, if Mage doesn't come through, it is so disappointing for bettors now. And I did not think that would be the case, but this will be an all-time. If he goes off at 2-1 and doesn't win, it is an all-time heartbreak for a bettor.
I mean, there's a lot of people who don't have Mage based on these numbers too. So there's a lot of bettors who are rooting against him.
But for the people on this stream, it would be like, whoa.
Well, we're clicked down to 9 to 5 now.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
I mean, well, because he reared up again. Vicky and Truth are telling us that he's rearing up and acting up, and he did this before the Derby a little bit. So that must be a sign he's ready to go.
I mean, he's got to go off in the 7 to 5, 6 to 5 even money range. Like he's got to end up there.
Even if the win pool goes down, I don't think these exactas and tries are going to get adjusted too much.
The tries shouldn't. The exactas, you might see a big bet on 3-1 or 1-3.
Yeah, that's fair. Man, I need 3 more outs from the Diamondbacks. Come on, boys, get it.
Nice.
I wish I could bet supers in this tournament.
You can't. There's no supers in the tournament?
No.
What about super high fives?
I wanted to see you bet a double into the Arabian race after this. What I was hoping for.
Yeah, if you had any creativity, you'd do that.
The Arabian race isn't allowed. I have to bet it all here.
I know.
I know. I was just hoping.
I think
that'd be the most Somich thing I've ever seen.
I think a lot of us in here are against, at least in the as analysts here, are against Blazing Seven. So I know a lot of people like Blazing Seven. So let me ask if you like Halterman. Obviously I can never get there on the win side, but underneath, I mean, I certainly struggled with the idea of leaving him off versus Perform. That was probably the one, right? I feel pretty confident with Red Route. Like Red Route 1, we know what he's going to do. But the one, like, they could blow up my whole try, they could blow up my super, everything is Blazing Sevens, very clearly. So where are you guys at with him, and why are you against him, or why are you for him?
I mean, point to a race that makes him competitive with the field. That's where I am at with it. And it's like the people are playing the Chad Brown angle, and I get it. It's a good angle. But early voting and cloud computing had ran really good races. Let's not forget, early voting nearly won the Wood Memorial and got beat at the last second by Mo Donegal, who went on to win the Belmont. So he was a really good horse, right? So early voting made a ton of sense. Where's the race from Blazing Sevens that makes him competitive? It makes him bettable at this price. That's where I'm at with it.
He has not been close since winning the Grade 1 Champagne, which was on a sloppy track that day, but has done nothing. I mean, he was not even a factor in the Bluegrass, finished third. No, that was, second off the layoff. You would have thought he would have ran a little bit better, but still, like, I'm with you. I think the concern is, is he one of those horses that, if Perform sucks, could he get fourth and not perform? I mean, yeah, he could, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, there's 5 horses that you logically have to pick through. You got to figure out who you're going to chuck or who you're going to play. And to me, Blazing Sevens is one of those where, like, his marquee win is over a sloppy track at a 1-turn mile with a pace collapse. He lost to Mage by 20-plus lengths last time they raced each other. Yeah. And he ran third behind a race that I don't think is very good. Like, so to me, it's really easy to be like, look, Red Route 1 is going to be ahead of Blazing Sevens. Then the question is Perform able to do it too? And that's why, like, I have a big 3 with 1 with 5-6 with 5-6 super, and then I have a big 3 with 1 with 5-6 try. Because if I'm right about the 3-1, the 5-6 are there running in third. I don't think Blazing Sevens beats both of them. And then it's a question of which one gets up. And then if you want to add some risk on, you play the super with the try, and then you're feeling pretty good there as long as you get that 3-1 home on the exacta. So to me, the thing with Blazing Sevens, I never thought he won 2 turns. And you look at all 4 of his 2-turn races, they're not great. There's nothing that you can point at, like Aaron said, and say, hey, that's the race that's going to be able to win this race. He made a middle move in the Lexington and then just kind of flattened out as soon as he got past the mile point. I don't think the distance is right for him. And you talk about Chad Brown, those other Chad Brown horses all had speed. He's going to come from way off the pace here. That's the other big problem with me. He's like 8 or 9 lengths back of slow paces.
Yeah.
So like he's not red route 1, but he's not going to be anywhere near the lead, and the pace is not going to be quick. So it's not like he's going to catch that pace collapse he caught in the Champagne.
But yeah, it's just like you kind of alluded to, and we talked about earlier. It's like, well, if he's cloud computing, if he's early voting or whatever, like you can make a little bit of more sense out of that. Maybe, early voting, say like great pace setup, definitely could make, capitalize on that. Blazing Sevens doesn't have that. And so to me, it's like he's going to have to perform, see what I did there, and outperform Red Route 1. And like you said, ultimately, you have to take a choice. And I've never liked Blazing Sevens, and why am I going to put him in here now? So,
yeah, Magic. We've been against Blazing Sevens since what? Keeneland?
Since he won that grade 1 at Aqueduct. Didn't even win it at Belmont. Won it at Aqueduct in the slot.
Oh yeah, the Backwaduct. Yeah, Banquet. Yeah.
Yep.
A couple people have mentioned this, guys. Light rain approaching. Any worry, fear, blah blah blah. Anything? Take anything into account there?
No.
I don't either.
It would take like the amount of rain it takes for a dirt track to really be affected. Skies would have to open up like hard and soon for it to really matter at Pimlico, especially because it's so dry and it's so set in. It's going to take a lot of rain for it to really mess anything up.
If you go back and look at the 2015 Preakness, the skies did exactly what Magic did about 15, 20 minutes before the race. I mean, the biggest storm you've ever seen came in, and that was a mess. But yeah, if it's light rain, it's not going to be too concerning. No.
I mean, he races in Gulfstream. Like, Florida gets light rain every day. Like, it's just normal down in South Florida. It just happens.
Real quick, just a question for the chat in the general room as well. There's $385,000 in the jackpot super high five pool. Is that a mandatory payout today?
Not sure.
If so, that would be a very good bet in this race.
It's not.
I think
it's not.
No, they're
okay,
not. They're not
cool.
done at Pimlico yet. Yeah,
just checking, because that would be a good pool to fire into if we only like 5 horses in a 7-horse field.
Yeah, that's a good question. There is a pick 6 carryover at Belmont tomorrow. If you want to take your winnings from playing the betting Bible, roll it into the Belmont pick 6 tomorrow.
That's right. Because Doc won't ask you if you want in on the group ticket, so you're gonna have to do it by yourself.
Yeah, we still got some leftovers from that, Doc. We'll have to fire in tomorrow.
I'm glad you guys have some leftover. Not like I text you guys every day or anything. So.
I mean, Doc, comments?
I have no comment. I'm not gonna. I don't want the Haltermans both to be mad at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Says I'm ignoring him. Aaron's holding a vendetta because he didn't have him on the tickets, and it's.
How many times has Aaron texted you about a group ticket, Doc?
Well, that's true. That's true.
Well, I don't rub it in your face though if I hit it, and I don't text you about it. Hey, look at this group ticket Somich and I hit. I was like, that's great. Thanks for inviting
That's
me.
great. Look at the text message I got from you asking me to join.
Yeah, no.
I've never even been invited to the party, so
Exactly. See,
I mean,
is that
at least you've been there, Alton. I don't even know what it looks like.
I don't know Jared's number. We don't. Nobody gave me Jared's number.
No, there's a problem right there. You didn't give him your number, Jared.
Well,
yeah.
There's a reason for that,
9-2 on Blazing Sevens now.
It's worthless anyway, as you can tell.
All right, so Joey's asking about the stitches. Should we talk about the stitches real quick? We'll do this. Is anyone concerned that he got stitches 2 days ago?
I asked this question this morning. I mean, I'm not a veterinarian. I'm just a doctor. I'm not a veterinarian.
What a drop!
Seriously, nice flex.
Will the dirt kickback irritate the wound? Because I mean, in not in a horse, but in a human, that wound takes about 3 to 5 days to heal, even with dissolvable. I don't know what stitches they use in horses. Sorry, dissolvable or true vicryl stitches. So it hurts, it burns when you get something on it. So it takes 3 to 5. I don't know how long it takes a horse to heal, and the dirt kickback that he's going to take into the eye, I don't know. Or will the horse's adrenaline just eliminate that factor? I don't know.
Okay, if it was going to hurt, wouldn't they just put a Band-Aid over it? Just throwing some logic out there. Just put a piece of tape over it for 2 minutes.
I don't know.
There's no way this is going to be a problem,
Doc,
right?
why are you here? We keep asking you questions. You keep saying, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
veterinarian.
What
I'm just
do
a
you know?
doctor. I'm a veterinarian.
Listen,
I'm just the best oncologist in LA. I'm not
Oh,
a
good
veterinarian.
Now he really is flexing.
What's funny
Well,
is like
all those,
If the horse had cancer,
everything
I could tell
that's
you a lot
framed
more
up
about
behind
this.
him,
But
everything in a frame behind Doc, it just is best in 2021, best in
Yeah.
2022.
hey, Doc, how much did it cost to get those awards?
Wow.
A pick six.
that I wasn't in on.
All full circle.
That's what it. Aaron's
circle.
portion was what he paid for to get him.
Exactly.
Aaron, I'm inviting you to the Belmont Pick 6 ticket tomorrow if you want to join.
Piss on you. I ain't getting in on that.
Yeah, the funny part is he would have said no. He's just angry he didn't get invited.
Oh shit! That day you guys spent like $300,000 on that Gulfstream pick 6. I was in on that. That lost.
That's fair.
So
You weren't on that. It wasn't 300,000 though.
no, felt like it when that horse lost.
Can't have them all.
No, but
Can't have 'em
listen,
all.
to answer the question seriously, guys, all I could do is ask somebody who would know, a trainer. I asked him. He said it's not a big deal. That's all I can do. I'm not
Yeah.
around him. I'm not a
Of
doctor like Doc, but I do have a trainer that's a friend. Doc, what do you think about that? And he said it's not a big a deal. So
I just used
fine.
basic logic of getting stitches right above my eye before, knowing that I didn't even wear a Band-Aid, and I was running around playing football the next day when I was like 13, and it didn't bother me. So like I assume that a horse who has thicker skin is not as bothered by as much of this stuff. I think it'll be okay. Yeah, that actually is a Doc line.
Have you guys ever wondered why doctors are like the only profession where it's like you got to prove that you have the credentials behind you on the wall at all times? What is that, Doc? Like you got to have your diplomas in the background. What is that about? Do people want do they want
no,
proof? that
actually,
you know-
one of my patients wanted to look at my wall to see what I had.
Can you do me a favor, Doc?
Yes.
Can you just start framing your pick 6 wins and put those on the wall in your doctor's office and see how your
This
clients
is
react?
actually what I'm most proud about.
Be like, I actually handicapped this one when I was with a client about 2 weeks ago, and
What? At least you're not. There is a reason. Like he's got to put that up there. There's that dude in Studio City that got 5 counts of malpractice on felony charges because he was practicing medicine and trying to cure cancer for like 5 years. No training whatsoever for it.
Yep. That was bad.
at least he was
So
putting in
you
the
ask,
effort.
he really does have to put that there because otherwise they're going to think he's Stefan Gevorkian.
All right, we are 19 minutes away. Anytime Magic talks, you just got to bring it back. We're 19 minutes away from the post here of the Preakness.
That's why I don't talk.
7 horses
he's
going
having a good
gateward.
time.
The wheels are
And we
falling
are
off.
still seeing 9-5 sitting on the board here on Mage. Just pretty crazy here. How do none of you like the 6? I like the 6. I've been talking about the 6 for
Yeah, he likes the
all
6
week.
and third.
I think Perform is number
Well,
is
it's
low.
6
I
and
think it's
third.
similar to Mage's Florida Derby. That the trouble and the break brought the number down. And I think you're going to see a good effort from the 6. I also think this isn't a spot where Shug reaches. He's not putting this horse in the Preakness unless he thinks he's actually going to run a pretty big effort. I don't love some other horses in here. I think it's really logical the 6 is able to hit the board. And if I was going to pick, I mean, I guess I can call like if I was going to pick one of the larger prices on the board, 7-1 to win, it would be Perform. I mean, to me, it's Mage, National Treasure, then Perform in that order. So we'll see what they're able to do. Anyone else like Perform, or is it just me here?
No,
I
I mean,
like it.
I've liked him
He's a-
underneath. Yeah,
he's a
I did a
key
video
horse.
about it.
he's a key horse for me to finish third
I'll say,
or
I
fourth.
think-
So yes, I do like him. Let's say 4th most of the race. So yeah.
I was going to say, I think literally everybody on the feed likes him. So I don't know why that comment came in.
But Truth Exposed likes him more because she said that he's a long shot. So listen, we all like him. I don't think he can win. If he wins, then you can call me out. I don't think he can win. But I do need him to run well. I need him to outrun. I need the 6 and the 5 to outrun the 7. How about that?
Yeah.
I did play a save or try with 6-1 with 1-5-6, 1-5-6, running out Mage and the 7.
Well, that would pay.
That'll
Jason.
pay. What does that
Because
pay?
if I don't like the 7, and I think the 2 and the 4 shouldn't be in the race, that leaves 3 horses. I think 2 of the 3 can win the race. It's really easy to put that try together, right?
Yep.
Yes. Diamondbacks won.
Congratulations,
Hey, now.
Aaron. Plus 130. Good bet.
Nice
Thank you.
bet.
Thank you.
Parlay it with my nationals. That would have been great. I did
Did
parlay
it?
I parlayed them.
And the problem here is, and to like the 6 gets. I mean, I get it, like, and he does, but in 7-1 is, I get, like you kind of said, Somich is, I guess, the long shot of this group because we live in a different realm now. But it's like, if Perform wins at 7-1, if Red Route wins at 7-1, you just forgetting that you deserve more value than that, like, because that's a huge upset in my opinion. 7-1 is not a huge upset, but this is the craziest betting I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah, I mean, and if you like the 6 and it gets you paid, I hope you hit it in the multi-race bets, right? Because like the pick 4 to the Mage pays $28.70. The pick 4 to Perform pays $453. Like, so the multi-race bets, you saw that come in on Mage, the price we all expected. It did not come in here in the win pool yet. So the multi-race bets, playing the horses, it was better to play anyone else in this race. And in this race, the win bet is clearly Mage. And so it's interesting to just kind of see how that works out.
Yep.
So there's
Justin
only
Tucker
11
going
million in the pool, though. Do you think there's going to double the money in the next 15 minutes? I mean, I know most
Generally,
money comes in late, but that much money?
Generally, the Preakness gets 20 to 24 million. That's what we've consistently seen over the last few years. So
Yeah,
I would expect that's what we're going to get. But I mean, I would expect that Mage was 6 to 5 or even money or 3 to 5. Like, not
10 million more
9 to
comes
5.
in just on Mage.
I clicked that over there almost the same time you said that, Nick, and it is weird because you're right. You expect at this point you'd have a little bit more than 11 million in there. Maybe it's not going to get bet quite as heavy. I don't know. It's good point.
You know, I mean, that's what it looks like, is that you probably just won't get to the 24 million. You probably end up at 19 or 20, which is, still a bunch of money. But CAWs probably haven't put their money in yet. But how much are they betting in this race at 9 to 5? You figure they have to bet something, right? Like, if we're all excited, they aren't dumb enough not to bet it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's going to be. Did anybody know the rule when that comes in at Pimlico? I know, like Naira, don't they cut it off at the 2-minute mark or something like that?
Yeah, they don't cut it off at Pimlico.
It's just a Naira rule right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So it could come in last second.
Yeah, and come in after the race.
Oh, we gotta change in the next race. The 6 RB Rathawain's a gelding now. Everybody update your Arabian picks next race.
Oh, hold on.
Must have just done that.
We gotta look at that.
Must have done that. In the stall.
That changes everything.
Let me play like the devil's advocate here a little bit. What if you're sitting here looking at this and you're saying 9 to 5 on Mage, like what, like, so this is a terrible sign. He should be 3 to 5. He should be 2 to 5. Why is he 9 to 5? Like, why are people not liking him? Like, is there a negative issue with this? Like, do you take anything into account, or do you look at the other way and say, listen, we have an edge here, and we're going to hammer that edge?
Part of me is sitting here going, this is too good to be true. Yes. So I hear what you're saying. I don't know what it would be. I don't know who would be more in depth with knowing if he wasn't ready for this race than the people sitting here, because we live this shit, right? That's not me bragging. That's just me saying this is what we do every day. But yeah, Jared, a part of me is sitting here going, this is too weird to be true or good to be true.
If all of the double pick 3, pick 4, pick 5, and pick 6 payouts agreed with the 9 to 5, I would be a lot more concerned.
Right.
But all of those pools are showing Mage should be even money or lower.
Exactly.
Which means that every single pool, which the non 2-day-a-year, 3-day-a-year better is betting, has Mage at this price. Not the pool that everyone who bets twice or 3 times or 4 times a year bets into. So I'm going to respect the pools where I respect the money more, which would be the double pool, the pick 3 pool, the pick 4 pool, the pick 5 pool, the pick 6 pool, because those are, in my mind, sharper pools than the win pool, especially in a public race.
That's a good point.
Fair. Yep.
Absolutely.
Good answer. Appreciate that answer from you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I finally got one.
Type
for
that
you.
up. I'm gonna send it to some people because it might ask me.
Magic, cut that out and make it a YouTube video.
There we go.
Maybe do it tomorrow though, because I don't know. May not be good today.
This Somich is smooth.
Smooth.
If anybody hasn't figured out, that's Saratoga Slim's new YouTube handle, by the way.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is it really?
Yeah. You haven't noticed all the like the dick sucking of the Suge and Chad Brown horse in this race? It's all coming from the rap tapes. What does that tell you?
No, I didn't know. I didn't like.
Wow. It's like the
So it
Masked
also
Singer.
has rap tapes.
It's a Masked Singer that just got revealed. The rap tapes is Slim.
OBJ, riders up.
Well, he's ready.
OBJ is doing Riders Up?
He would have looked good in red, Jared.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time for the 148th running of the Preakness from my new home to the city of Baltimore. To all the fans watching around the world, Riders up!
He did good.
Hey,
Better than whatever the bitch was that did the Derby.
Wow.
he did better than
Whoa.
Mahomes, I think.
So we got Mahomes
Watch
there.
watch your mouth, Magic.
We got OBJ there. Who's doing it in New York? Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Nathan
Yeah.
Rodgers.
56 days to Saratoga. Hell yeah. Sorry. Okay.
That's all.
I agree, Mike. I agree. Me and Halton were texting about that the other day. I was like, "When's Saratoga? I'm ready for it now."
12 million in the win pool, still holding at 9-5, down to 10 minutes to post to the Preakness. Any comments on the orange hair from the 4-horse? Anyone else see that?
Oh,
The little palms in the braid, in the main.
Yeah, straight orange mane.
cool.
I'm changing
I
my
think we
bet.
should have more of
Nice.
that. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
Jared doesn't like it. He left.
Last year, I was looking at last year, and at least last year they had an 18-1 shot. Like that would at least make sense, right? I guess I'm still just confused at how we have Chase the Chaos at 9-1 when I watched him at Golden Gate Fields at 4-1. Like
It's interesting to see the conundrum the offshore books are being put into, because now fixed odds markets have Mage plus 120, National Treasure plus 275, but they still Chase the Chaos 25-1, Coffee with Chris 20-1, Red Route 1 10-1, Perform 12-1. So they're expecting money coming in on Mage specifically as this gets down to post time.
8-5 on Mage now.
8-5. Oh,
Yep.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
So, 8-5 on Mage is nuts. 9-1 highest price on the board. I think it's more nuts. Like you guys. I mean, like Nick, you just said Chase the Chaos is 9-1. I mean, this is incredible.
I mean, it's the Rombauer angle, right? At this point, Rombauer.
Yeah.
That's what we'll say.
I don't
the way
think he
that
was
it goes.
9-1, was he? He maybe.
No.
He's a little lower, but
What's
At
minus
least he ran
150,
in
Mike? Is that
Cleveland.
3-2?
Minus 150. Minus 150?
Minus
That's
1-2.
1-2.
That's 1-2.
Yeah. Plus 150 would be 3-2.
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah. My offshore book's doing minus 150 on Mage, so no thanks.
Nope, don't take that one.
No. Plus 130. That's what I got on the Diamondbacks today. Just saying.
Nice.
Oh, Rombauer was 11-1. I thought he was like 6 or 8. If he
I
was
thought he was
11-1,
12-1. I thought he was 12.
who would you
Was
rather
he
bet?
11?
Rombauer to beat this field or Chase the Chaos to beat the field? It's crazy. Go ahead.
Hey, actually,
Rombauer
Rombauer's
off
back
the
in
bench,
training.
I'd
You
take
bet
at
on
this point.
Rombauer at 11-1 again pretty soon. Couldn't
Yeah.
find a
Yeah, there's
stallion deal for him.
Is that true, Magic? Or are you just
Yes,
making a change?
there was a Blood Horse article about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, 9 minutes. What do we got in the pool now? We got 12.4.
Did they take all
You're
the
right.
pom-poms off the 4 except for 2 at the top?
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
My wife turned my credit card off, so I'm out of money. So I'll have to start talking to you guys. I found every credit card she let me still have access to. Just put it all on Mage. So I may be
Wow.
divorced at the end of this. Not really. I'm just teasing.
I know.
I'm sure she's probably watching because I text her like, Magic says they have to come on. And now she's probably watching me and yelling at me. She's probably coming home now to come scream at me. So got myself in trouble again already.
This is what happens when you come on the live show. You just get in trouble with your spouses.
That's right. Yeah, that's what we try to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Magic's hanging by a thread up there. So
Magic's been always hanging by a thread.
That's why Jared. That's why Jared doesn't have one. He got tired of being in trouble all the time.
Wow.
exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
All right, we're back.
What don't I
There
have?
we go.
Somich is in a hotel. It's getting so bad for him. So
So Somich is still in a hotel. Oh, I don't even want to know. Oh, wow.
I'm just in a different place every day now. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
that's, exploring Santa Barbara. Yeah.
Who knows where I'll be shooting from tomorrow?
oh Lord. Chessboard, good luck. He said wish him luck. Good luck. Mage is crunk. Yeah, okay. 3 horse by a city block. All right. People are excited. 6 minutes. I can't believe it. We've killed time. We've killed so much time. I'm really proud of us.
Yes, we have.
What did you end up
This
playing
race
in the
is harder to
tournament,
kill
Mike?
than the Derby because there's only 6 horses. I mean, this is just,
Yeah. Thank God he has been this price. If he was 2-5 the whole time, what would we have talked about?
Permutations of the superfecta.
Yep.
That's about it.
I just would have been
Exactly.
quiet the whole time. I don't even know what that word means. So
Permutations?
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh boy. Okay.
It's going to be the
I'm not a doctor.
pronunciation bee and the definition bee.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Have you made your bet yet for the tournament, Mike?
I'm doing it right now.
Are you still waiting?
I'm
Can-
deciding.
oh,
I bet a $500 cold try 316 would give me $20,000.
Nice.
And then I'm debating what to do with the other $180 I got left.
I will be back. My daughter is crying.
Oh my goodness.
Tell her to be quiet. The Preakness is
I
about
told him to
start.
put duct tape on her mouth before he showed up on the live stream.
Okay. By the way, I overheard earlier when I wasn't on the stream that I heard Magic use the word rape,
No.
He did.
and I thought we should.
That's the horse's name.
I should probably just end the broadcast right now.
That's a joke back to when he's like 7 now, isn't he? When he was like 2, Aaron and I were calling him instead of therapist, we put a space and made it 2 words there. So-
Why do you always bring me into this? No, I did not. You did.
Yes.
Do not joke about these kind of things. Okay.
I
There's
hate
some
that.
things you can joke about, and there's some things you cannot. That would be labeled as not.
All right, I'll write it down. It'll be one of my rules, okay?
Oh wow.
With the house silks, right?
Yeah, without sucks.
God.
I don't think he was. Yeah.
Magic, what we say in private doesn't go on the air. Remember that.
Okay. I've got 316, and then I've got 165 as 2 separate cold tries.
All right.
165. Throwing
Yeah.
Mage out. Okay.
Oh, I'm trying to win the tournament.
Yeah.
And so if I play tries with Mage in, there's no way to get there based on the will pays, and so I have to figure out how to finagle it. What are we about? We should probably rip through it here just so we've got, what was this, 5 minutes to post right now? So 3 minutes to post. Let's talk about the tries and supers. I think we're all shocked by the win price on Mage. I think we've all put win bets in on Mage. I would be surprised if we didn't. I really like the 3-1 exacta. I think that's a phenomenal price right now, sitting on the board at 6-1. I was expecting more around 4-1 when the 8 scratched out. I really like the 3-1-6 cold try. I really like the 3-1-6-5 cold super. So I will be rooting for 3-1-6-5 dead on in that order. Aaron, what do you like?
Yeah, the win bet on Mage, like you said, I'm right with you. Like the 3-1 exacta shouldn't be paying what it is. So that's a really good bet. I'm going to get Red Route 1 involved a little bit here. I'm going to put him underneath in the tries. I am going to move him up to that second spot just for hopes to kind of get a little bit lucky with him, create a little bit more value. So in the try, I'm going to go 3 over 1-5 over 1-5-6.
Jared?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, 8-5. I'm pounding a win bet on Mage here. I'm playing. I do think there's some tries you can play here, get creative. 3, 3, 1, 5, and then if you want to do 1, 1, 3, 5, in case the 1 gets up there, and then maybe 1 without the 1, because I do think he's going to run 1, 2, or not at all. But my big play here is a superfecta. I'm playing 1, 3 over 1, 3 over 5, 6 over 5, 6. So basically a 1, 3, 5, 6, anywhere in that kind of ballpark. I'm pressing my top 2 opinions, and then need 5, 6 to run 3rd and 4th.
I like that. I have a 3-1 with 5-6 with 5-6. I like that. 3-1, 3-1, 5-6, 5-6-2 for a little bit less, just for some coverage.
Yep.
Magic, where are you going here? Preakness.
3-5-1-6. That's my superfecta here. But I could see naturally, especially the track's going and the way Velocity's been riding, I could definitely see it go 3-1-5 as well.
Come on, baby. By the way, we've talked all about the betting and we've talked all about the odds and it's wild and this and that. But we have a horse here that has won the Derby, is an 8-5 favorite to win the Preakness. We might have this thing going for a triple crown here in 3 weeks if Mage, your 3 horse, can get it done. It seems crazy to think a couple months ago that Mage might have a shot to win a triple crown, but here we are. Yep. I hope it happens for the racing, for betting, all purposes. I really hope we can get a win here and head to Belmont, which I think is going to be a good race. I think there's a bunch of horses that are going to wheel back from the Derby into that. Arabian Lion supposedly might go to the Belmont after today's performance. So yeah, I think you're going to see quite a field there of horses that they're going to try to go up against. I don't think Mage is going to scare anybody off. Let's put it that way. If he were to win.
I would agree with you. We're at 14 million in the win pool, 8-5 still. So we'll see if we can get all that win money. 0 minutes to post. Doc, who do you like here?
3 over the 1, 5-6, and 3 over the 1, 5-6, 5-6. Pretty consistent.
Nick Severs, who you got?
3-1-5, 3-1-5-6.
I think we got a lot of people rooting for the 3, 1, 5, and 6 here. So we'll see if this works out.
I mean, I played Jared Super, so I'd like that as well.
We can get Blazing Sevens to run out of here and get rid of that.
That'd be great.
From Jared.
I thought it was like 20-1 that I would be like super nervous about this race again, because I just thought, as a fan, you're always nervous about the big races, but as a bettor, I am just shocked that we are this like nervous because of the opportunity. It's crazy.
That's the beauty of this game.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice, Doc. You just redeemed yourself there with that comment with me.
Still 8-5 on Mage. Computers haven't hit it yet.
Moving. I mean, there's 14 million. We were expecting 10 million more in the win pool, which is kind of wild too. So we'll see if more of that comes in here.
Yeah.
But there's the fact that no one is over 10-1 on this board is just
shocking,
mind-boggling.
that was cool. They showed all the jockeys.
Yeah, that was cool.
They are they are approaching the gate, Peter. Getting close to the gate to start. 0 minutes to post. So if you're betting. Now
we can't show it, but we'll tell you exactly what's happening.
Yes, just get ahead of that one, okay?
Yep.
We cannot show it, okay? NBC has the rights we don't have the rights for any race feed, okay? Let's put it that way. But who's calling the race? Somich, you calling the race?
We just missed the bidding on the rights for the Preakness. Maybe next year.
By this much.
3-2. He dropped
donating, guys.
Woo!
3-2. There's a hit.
Yep.
You can see how much that hit the win pool. It went from 14-2. We'll see that. I mean, it's got to be a pretty big bet to drop it like that.
Is that Mattress Mac?
Yeah. My goodness.
Been at 0 minutes for a while here. We're getting that Stronach post-time drag going.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get that pool.
We actually cannot show it, Brandon, okay?
You can show it.
Actually,
we did have the discussion at one point. If somebody else was streaming it on YouTube from the track, could we show it? And we kind of decided, no, we still can't.
Unfortunately, we do this 365 days a year, so we have to have a business tomorrow. So we can't show it. If not, we would show it. We wouldn't care.
Listen, we played enough with enough fire with the Derby with not having a business the next day. Let's
Yeah.
not play, more fire here with the Preakness.
True. We don't have that problem today, thank God. So
Listen, when
Yeah.
we sell the business or we're on our way out, we'll just start showing everything. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
There we go.
won't care. You'll know. All right. They're loading.
Loading in.
good.
Loading in the gate.
Good luck, everybody. Let's get this 3.
3-1-6.
Yeah.
3-1-6. 3-1-6.
That's fine all day.
Yeah, I'm with you, Halterman. I definitely am nervous going into this.
Yeah, this is nerve-wracking.
He's well behaved in the gate. He just had that little issue with well before it was they were walking him over Mage when he veered up. But every time they've shown him since, he's been very calm and
It's the same like he was in the Derby, right? So
On the track, he's looked fine. I mean, just really good looking. So
And the 1 and the 4, the 2 horses were probably expecting to go to the lead. 1 National Treasure definitely wants to take this field gate to wire. Coffee with Chris should be forwardly placed. We'll see where Mage sits. I mean, obviously the break is something you want him to break at least okay. Just don't Florida Derby this thing right here.
here we go.
That's his best break in a long time.
Hey, he got out
really
great.
good break.
Yeah, this is great.
It's a great
He has never broke this good.
No,
I mean,
he's never.
that's like his maiden special. They are going slow. And look at Velasquez pushing all the way out to try and force everybody wide.
Yep.
And the 4 is just giving it to Blazing Sevens there.
Blazing Sevens up close. I didn't think he'd be close.
He's catching him wide.
Good Lord, this is Mage's best trip by a country mile. But
Yep.
since
It's not even close.
Not even
I mean,
close.
He wants to go already though.
Oh yeah.
He's saving ground
Yeah.
and he's close to the slow pace. Like this is a dream for
It's
me.
ideal.
Yeah.
How about this? The 5 is in front of the 6 and the 2.
Yeah, Red Route 1 more
run.
forward place today.
Red Route 1. Wow.
I think this is the first time he's been on the screen in the first half mile.
You're
Yeah,
right.
no, for real.
Well, there's no. Yeah.
He's okay. Red Route 1 is
now he's
ahead of
passing Mage.
Going up there.
Dude, what are we doing with the 5 here?
I mean, let's also mention National Treasure is absolutely walking on the lead right
Yep.
now.
Yep.
Yep.
49 seconds out there, just
49.
absolutely walking. And Mage kind of in a little traffic here. He's going to try and make his move, I guess, 4 wide around this far turn.
Follow Blazing Sevens.
Yeah, he's just tracking Somich. I think he's okay now. Now they've tipped him out.
Yeah. It's kind of like
They
the
really
Florida
haven't
Derby
asked
trip.
him to do much yet.
Kind of like the Florida Derby trip. He's a little wide, but not
7.
concerned.
The 7's going to screw up everything here for
Yeah.
the supers. And
It's
stuff.
time to run though if you're the 3.
It's time to run, Mage.
Come on, go get him now, Mage.
Go get him.
Come on, Mage.
Go get him,
Taking him.
buddy.
Go
Come
get
on.
him.
There he is. Come on.
He's not going to
No.
get him.
No.
He doesn't have it. Doesn't have it.
It's the 1 or the 7. Ooh.
Is Blazing Sevens gonna win?
Blazing
this?
Sevens just is hitting.
He just
Oh,
came
No,
out of
National
National
Treasure
Treasure.
got it. 1735.
Wow.
Wow.
7. I knew. I mean, I'm never going to get there with the 7. So
We may
I mean,
see
they just
an
went slow,
inquiry.
they went slow early, and Mage just
Yep.
didn't have
Mage,
it.
and Mage had the best trip that he's had.
You knew
Wow.
as soon as he ducked in, he wasn't getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right
He didn't
here
like
as they're
the
showing the
whip.
replay now. It's like he's done. He's not
He's
gonna
done.
have it.
He's out. Yeah.
Yep.
He didn't like that whip.
Wow. National Treasure. There was a lot of bumping here. I don't know who caused it though, so we'll see.
It was the
Almost
7.
like
I
The
think
7
it
was
was
the one that
7
came
coming in
in.
on the 1
Yeah.
the whole time. Irad's trying to pull an Irad again.
Oh well, that's exactly what happened then. Yeah, I didn't even.
I mean, it's the 4 plus the 7. They go 1, 3, 5, 6. It's that 7 that causes the trouble.
Yep.
I mean, that was a much better race from Blazing Sevens than I ever expected he would run, though.
Yeah, because of 2 turns. But they let National Treasure walk.
Yeah.
But even with letting him walk, though, I mean, Mage still didn't have an excuse there.
Right. He had
No.
his best trip. He got a good break. He was just sitting right there.
He was sitting pretty. You got to win that race if you're the best horse in the
And
race.
he got,
couldn't get
out
the
of
job done.
traffic trouble and everything. So
Yep.
National
had to
Treasure
do
just
it.
won the Preakness.
Yeah.
that's this season in horse racing, folks.
Yeah, that's right.
So when does
Hey,
Saratoga
Magic,
start?
remember Cave Rock, who's better than National Treasure by a lot?
Yeah, remember that?
Wow.
Chase of Chaos beat Perform.
Did he?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. He got him by the nose.
which would have been a disgusting beat if the Blazing Sevens didn't run like he did.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jeez.
Right.
Yeah, you knew, at least, turning for home, you knew real quick, for me, playing against the Blazing Sevens, like, okay, this isn't going to work because he's running. I never expected, like you said, him to be where he was at. It was a good strategy from Chad Brown. I imagine that was, to kind of put the horse in the race early.
Mm-hmm.
And, it worked out. I mean, he ran huge.
I mean, like I said, the National Treasure winning is really not a shock to me at all. The 7 running that kind of race, that was incredible.
Yep.
Well, no Triple Crown on the line at Belmont. And
I mean, it showed that if Mage wins this, we would definitely play it against him at Belmont. So
yeah, and now he's not going to go with Belmont.
Yeah, he's not going. So.
Mm-hmm.
Now National Treasure.
Let's see, what was the 137 was $12 on the trifecta.
You 173.
Sorry. Let me rewatch that 173. That seems
low.
173 is $8? How's that possible?
Did Shotty and Davey just did they won the fantasy league? Like, there's no catching them now, right?
I would say very unlikely. I'm going to update it right now. I would say very unlikely that they're going to get caught. I think they just won it. Yep.
Living right. You got points from a worst practical move and National Treasure. I mean, I don't know how you pulled that off, but
173 trifecta was $12.
It was $8.
God, I still can't read this stupid graph. Damn.
Thank God you don't read graphs for your life, Doc.
Nope. Math and graphs. Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. $8.15 for 50 cents for the track.
$8.50.
Yeah, we're about to see the revenge tour for Bob Baffert, by the way.
He's coming.
Yep. He's been back a day and he's won the Preakness.
You were right about that analysis, though, about like Feza yesterday and then Arabian Lion today. And then why would he put National Treasure in this race? Once we saw Arabian Lion run like a monster, this level 1 was live, which we talked about. So
yeah, I wish Mage had won the race. If Mage wins the race, then that 3-1 exacta cashes, the 3 wins. There's a bunch of
of course.
But man, that it's gonna be interesting. I think Jared brings up a good point. 3-year-old champion is wide open now as well.
Oh yeah.
You've got a bunch of different directions to go with Forte. We don't know when we're going to see him next. You have 2 different winners in the Preakness and the Derby, and the Preakness winner had absolutely no accolades. This is the first time winning since the maiden special weight win all the way back in his career debut. So nothing really to hang his hat on outside the Preakness. So it's going to be a fun summer with the Ohio Derby, with the Haskell, with the Travers. I mean, you're going to have a bunch of these 3-year-old races that matter a lot now.
Yep. All leading up to the Breeders' Cup at Santa Anita in November.
That's right. Updating the fantasy league. Shotty and Davey, they're 1-5 to win this now.
Wow. The rookies.
I don't think you may catch them. Incredible.
$784, $260, $5 to place there on the 7. Man, come on.
So Castellano was 0 for whatever in the Derby. He gets his Derby. Velasquez is 0 for whatever for a long, like 0 for 12 or something in the Preakness.
Wow.
He got his first Preakness. So the point is, playing the Belmont, find an old grizzled Hall of Fame jockey who hasn't won the Belmont, has a mount, and hammer him. That's the horse that's going to win the Belmont.
This is still nuts. I'm looking at this. The 2 and the 4 were 10-1 in the win pool, but the exact is paying $15.90 for a. Anyways, 5-2.
I really wanted Mage to win, even like outside of any betting stuff. Just emotion. I wanted to have a shot at the Triple Crown this year. I like this horse. It's a bummer that this is how it's going to end.
Of course.
Yep, for sure.
We were all hoping for a Triple Crown shot. And that's what we horse enthusiasts like to hope for every year, but
not to be.
He had the right. I mean, he had everything. I mean, if you saw him at the turn, I would have said 1-5 on him even. Let's all show our kids here. There's Colson. Hey, Colson.
I definitely think when he turned for home, it looked like he was starting to pick it up, and I was still pretty hopeful. And like I said, when he ducked to that inside, it's like, you don't have it.
Colson.
Well, if you watched his Derby, if you watched his Florida Derby, his big move came top of the far turn.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was not in the lead coming into the stretch. And he made the lead basically in the Florida Derby and the Kentucky Derby. You could tell he was going to be in the lead very quickly when he hit the top of the stretch. And it was just like, no, he's still got to grind out 2-3 lengths here. Like that was not what I was expecting.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Exactly.
Super High Five paid $164 for a buck.
Wow.
How much was it?
$145 for a buck. The pick 4 paid $47.25 with Mage losing. I would have bet a lot of money on the over.
Yeah.
I knew Mage was going to lose.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Wow.
What did the try pay?
Try paid $12.10 for 50 cents. So $24.20 for a buck.
Yeah, I mean, I it's one of those things like I never would have had it. It would have been discussed. I did at one point. I did have the 135 try heavy. And that would have been sick to have the 7 ruin that.
Yeah.
But like you said, Somich, like listen, it sucks, but not even from a moment of the start, I was considering the 7 as far as my top 3. So it's just like, I was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. It wasn't going to happen for me if the 7 runs like that. So
yeah,
I would have just loved it to come 3-1-7 because then I would have the win in the exacta. But what can you do?
So
shake your head. I mean, it's what it is.
Over under. I'll say 2.5 weeks. So before the Belmont, over under 2.5 weeks before we find out he tests positive for something and Baffert blames cancel culture again.
Oh, good.
Gosh.
No,
let's not go there. Let's
not. Oh gosh.
Let's not do that.
Listen,
he's back.
Listen, he served his punishment, and now it's just like it's over. So I'm glad he's back. It's funny that he's been in the game for a day and he's already won the Preakness with the horse who hadn't won since he broke his maiden. But here we are. So I don't know. By the way, I'm gonna say it. I'm going to say it loud. I'm going to say it proud. I'm going to say it for you specifically, Magic, just because it's funny that you won the shake without me getting it. First mission would have won this race. Suck on that, Magic.
Wow.
He would have won.
No.
He would have
run 4th.
There's a lot to unpack.
Beat Mage's flat ass.
Wow. What was the reason why first mission scratched? What was the reason?
He was scared.
Cannonbone, I think.
Yeah.
Cannonbone.
Yeah. You're a vet, right? Oh no, you're not a vet. I'm sorry.
No. Again, I'm just Ellie's best on colleges. That's all I am.
I bet this is sub 100.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something
absolutely.
Right now. Let me look up what they ran. The 3 mile and 3/16 they ran yesterday. That Rattle and Roll ran, and we'll compare the times real quick. That's not a perfect way to do it, but it's close enough together in days that I think it'll work. Fairly well of what we're trying to do. Because it didn't look like they were really going very fast, which makes it down the lane. Which makes it kind of it's like ugh. Really?
Well, they came home in 12 seconds.
Well, that was okay then.
They were slow to start. That was They went out in 49. That was really the first moment you're like, oh, this could be a problem.
Final time for yesterday's race, the Pimlico Special, again, won by Rattle and Roll, speed bias. They hit the wire together. If you've forgotten that one, 1 minute 54 seconds 0.72, and this was 155.12. So slower by what is that? 3/4 of a second.
Yeah.
And let me see what the buyer was real quick on that, and we'll have a pretty good idea based on that.
I was going to guess like 98.
Let me find it. The buyer from yesterday. Holy cow. Get down to Friday here. 101 buyer in the Pimlico special, which would put it about at what Somich just said for the Preakness. High 90s is my guess.
So an improvement from a massive improvement from Blazing Sevens, an improvement from National Treasure, and a regression from Mage.
Massive improvement. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That is huge. Like, I mean, I think, you know, if you want to like really get into it, like, I think Red Route Run ran pretty much like we thought. You know, he kind of makes a little bit run late, and then you know, Perform is disappointing how he ran. If you know, I think that's safe to say. But yeah, out of all this, and honestly, I don't think National Treasure ran like, I don't think he didn't run bad, but he didn't run like spectacular. You know what I mean? Like, he really, like you said, I think Blazing Sevens running big is the story. Mage obviously regressing, maybe tired. Those are the two main ones there.
Yeah, I mean, in this, the question comes in: was it regression, or was Mage just at his best in the Derby? We don't really know, right? I mean, because maybe that was the best day, best race of his life. I mean, definitely we've seen horses do that in days like Kentucky Derby. But you got to, when you're trying to handicap it, you kind of have to have that high point and then decide, okay, where did they fall? And I think that this is probably going to be equal to the Florida Derby from a numbers perspective for Mage, maybe a little bit lower. And his Florida Derby had a ton of trouble. So you kind of would think that number should have been higher anyway. So it feels like a regression off the last two, which, by the way, like, I think a lot of us were concerned about. I mean, that's what we talked about. If he gets beat, it's because he bounces, not because he can't run back to it. Because he has to, if he runs back too close to that Derby effort, he was going to be tough, and he didn't.
Listen, I don't know where it went. Yeah, like, here's the thing, Christopher. Like, you're right. He did. He got this set up and he cashed it in, meaning National Treasure. And I think that's why we all like National Treasure here, because I think, but the flip side was we all thought Mage would run him down, you know? So I agree. Like, the only difference that happened here was Mage didn't come get him. That was the issue. But National Treasure ran, I wouldn't even say like National Treasure ran like I thought he would, you know, like he ran exactly I thought he would. He would get an easy lead, soft pace, and he'd be tough to catch. Mage would be the one to catch him. 3-1. That's what I liked. And so him running the way he did and winning it is not crazy. It's just that Mage didn't come get him, I guess.
Yeah.
And the fact that 7 beat Mage, that's the big one.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. I don't think National Treasure did anything that we didn't think he could do in this race, right? He kind of did exactly what we all kind of thought he could do, and that's why we all thought, hey, second, he looks really good. And I'm really surprised that Mage didn't show up with hardly anything. That's the thing. Like, to me, it's like he really spun his wheels pretty bad.
Yeah.
And anytime you're watching a race and you see that duck in, you're like, oh God, he doesn't have it, you know? Yeah. So is what it is. I mean, that's horse racing in a nutshell for you. I mean,
he was who we thought he was.
Yeah, that's right. And we let him off the hook.
What a day though, but not what a day for Bob Baffert. He wins with Arabian Lion earlier in the card. Then we have the tragic, you know, the horse goes down, and then he wins the Preakness.
Yep.
Later in the day, it's like, geez, up and down roller coaster day. Now he's probably going to win the Belmont with your horse, Halterman. So
I hope.
There we go. He's not going. You don't think? I mean, do you think National Treasure will be in the Belmont, guys?
I sure as shit would send him. Why not?
Well, if Arabian Lion's in there, you may not, but.
Well, that's true.
He might actually. That's
kill him.
True.
He likes to have both. He likes to have two horses in there to kind of tag team.
Yeah, it doesn't make a ton of sense to send them both there as speed horses, though.
That's true. Who's going to sit back? Yeah.
Yeah.
National Treasure probably would end up sitting back. just based on what we've seen. I would be surprised if he sends him. I think it's Arabian Lion there.
Okay.
It's weird to me though, because like, why? I don't know. I don't get why people are saying no. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't. That's my thing. Like, it's not like the horse has been racing 100 times this year. He's barely started. She's only has what, 2 starts. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it is quality road out of a Magdadoro mare. Like that's
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
got a mile and a half on it.
Yeah, and he's got the grinding style. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think
If the connections are thinking Saratoga, Haskell, they're not going to want to go Belmont.
well,
What's better for the horse, Saratoga, Travers, Haskell, or Belmont? It's
Well-
Saratoga, Haskell.
It's fair.
What did Mage? Did he go off? What did he go off at? 7-5.
Yep.
Anybody know?
7-5.
7-5. Yep.
Who had that? Who had 7-5? Was it Magic? You had 8-5, didn't you?
I had 8-5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had
Didn't you? Or did
I
you
think I
split the
had
difference of
7-5.
6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I win. Hey, the beard stays. Sorry, folks.
Rats.
And I keep putting up these bets. I'm trying to get rid of it, but they just don't hit. Man. Well, you know what? It's still a very profitable day for me. So
Yeah.
I'll take it. Just
Yeah,
that'd
it's a
been nice.
break-even day.
Yeah.
I just got an email saying we sucked and we're a scam, Jared. You said we wouldn't get an email today. I said, oh yeah, we will.
Oh, we got one earlier, like mid-card. Somebody sent that. Like after Jared hit his $530 exacta.
Yeah, right after I hit that huge exacta, I got one that said we were awful. I was like, yeah, well, that's about right.
We did? I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I replied to him and said I just hit a $500 exacta, but thanks.
Oh, you're talking about Gary? Yeah, he didn't even buy today. He's still mad about the Derby. Yeah.
Haters gonna hate. Shake it off. Who cares?
Here's
Oh,
the
no, I
thing.
don't. I'm just
Here's
saying.
the thing, and a little
Like a little
soapbox.
T
here
Swift reference there, Doc.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank
for-
you.
Whenever
And
we
appeal to the
were-
millennials and
we were
everybody
awful
else.
2 weeks
Gen-
ago. There's no way about it. We sucked in the Derby Bible.
Yeah.
And anybody that emailed us and complained, we gave them a promo code. We said, hey, the promo code was well, I won't give it out actually because I think it's still active. But the promo code gave them I think it was $40 off because like, hey, you know what?
That's solid.
Try us again. It feels good to get that back. So it'd be like, you know what? If you try this again, redeemed ourselves. But like you said, Alterman, we're still a scam, I think. One guy, I think we mentioned it. One guy thought we were giving out like fake bets, like so we could bet the other horses.
Oh, that's what Andy Sterling about too. That he
So,
goes
like,
on the Naira telecast to give out fake bets.
So you're manipulating the pools.
So
telling
try and
them
manipulate the
whatever.
pool so you can bet on other horses, which is just ludicrous. Like,
Well, I told
How does that
Halterman,
make
like,
sense?
that's insane, but that's kind of a good idea.
Yeah. How does that make sense?
It's like, why were we not smart enough to do this?
Yeah, why am I
Yeah.
not doing? I should have been doing this. What am I doing?
It's ridiculous. Can't be right all the time. Come on, guys. This is a horse racing. I'm not even right all the time in terms of my daily doctor's practice. I'm just kidding.
I don't know if you should admit
Okay,
that.
you
on-
can't play around with that, man. Okay,
I'm
you
just kidding.
got to be right more than you're wrong.
Exactly.
Man.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Well,
Dr. Tanks hit
knocking on wood.
60% in his practice. So
Yeah, not gonna- no lawsuits yet. In this eight-year career. Thank you.
Good.
All
All right.
All right.
No,
right.
That's all we got.
it just seems kind of like all right. It just seems kind of
All right.
It seems like the last Seinfeld episode. Everybody's like, okay, that's it. All right.
Well,
What's the basketball picks?
Ugh.
not the Celtics.
I took
Something.
the points.
What is it?
I took the points tonight.
Oh, Denver with the points.
Denver +6.
Okay. I don't know what to do with this game. And
All right,
take
guys. Well, we will
Yeah.
be back. When will we be back, Magic?
Belmont.
Belmont, 3 weeks.
Anything before that?
Everybody's shaking. Everybody's like,
Cool.
No,
Okay. We'll be back
Belmont,
at the
3 weeks.
Belmont in 3 weeks. By the way, the Belmont card, even if you're not a big fan of the Belmont card is going to be insane. The Met
Stacked.
Mile might be the race of the year. So sure Bob Baffert will win that one too with Tava. So, but no, look for it. 3 weeks from now, the betting Bible for the Belmont will be available probably here in the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. I'm doing your job, Magic. Anything else you want to add?
No. Good.
You're awesome tonight.
I'm working over here.
You're
I
doing a
completely
great job.
checked out. I'm working.
Somich, have a great night tonight. Okay.
Thank you very much. We're gonna have a fun time at the party. Gotta finish the card for Belmont tomorrow because you know what? There's still things to bet on tomorrow. So Bombs will be back at Belmont. Doc and I gotta hit that pick 6.
Yeah.
Gotta leave Aaron out of the ticket.
Yep.
All things are good in this world.
Yep.
Dr. Tang's curing cancer. We're all good, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Nothing
good.
has changed. It's just, we don't have a Triple Crown winner, but the world's it's fine.
Hey, listen, even though we don't have a Triple Crown on the line, I mean, I do think the race itself is going to be an interesting race.
It will be.
I mean, Trice going to be obviously pointing there. Maybe we get 2 fills. Maybe you've got, Arabian Lion. I think you're going to have a handful.
It's going to be a great race. I agree.
Yep. A good betting race too. I think there'd be opportunity there. So
that's all you can ask for. Today was a great betting race. Who would have thought?
Shit,
Yeah, that's actually an excellent point. I thought this was going to be a terrible betting race. It was a pretty
Who
good
would have
one.
thought? We got
all things considered, like how it looked, felt it was going to be. It gave us a ton to talk about, a ton of like what could happen, and betting opportunities galore for a 7-horse field without first mission. So,
I guess ROI was huge today, but if you take advantage of the prices consistently, eventually when you hit it, it'll be good. That's the key lesson.
Man, what did David Anders do? Get blocked?
Oh, he didn't have nice things to say about you, Jared.
About me?
Yep.
Oh, then why'd you block him?
I would have liked to respond. What did he say?
I wanted to see the comment.
I don't know. It already got removed.
What did he say?
Magic is very quick with his block fingers. We've learned that.
Man,
Arabian Night is pointing to the breeding shed, I believe. I think that's he and Cave Rock are in a race to the breeding shed right now.
Yeah.
Somebody also told me that Magic's quick with his fingers. I don't know who that was though.
Wow. Listen, this is probably not. I probably shouldn't say this, but some of y'all, and it's very few. So some of y'all make this hard to do. Like you make it unfun.
Yeah.
Like I hope that you guys realize some of you people now. Like, listen, 98% are great and it's amazing.
Yep.
But 2% of you are awful, and it just makes it not fun. Like, man, like I can't imagine. Anyways, I had a great day. Hope you guys had too.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was a really good day today, but
hey, the D-backs won. What more could you want, right, Aaron?
Exactly. Watch Dudes Who Bet Daily. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Guys.
Come on.
I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. He's Magic. He's Somich. He's Dr. Tang. Until next time, thanks everybody for tuning in, and congratulations to Bobby B. Got him done.